let's do it. Hello, all.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, thanks for being here. Yeah. If you got a camera, turn it on. It helps out a ton.
It'll be a moment.
Yeah. I'll wait on that. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming through. Nice to see you all. Oh, there we go. Got some more cameras coming on. Oh wow, ooh la la.
Thank you, bro.
No problem. Okay, yeah. We got a beautiful group of individuals with us. So we'll start with the most beautiful, Chris Cosmo. Chris Cosmo, thank you for coming through. Thank you for being dressed to the nines as usual. Drippy Iffy, nice to see you. Yeah. Have you been here before? I don't think so, right? It was your first time?
I have. Last time I was here, I was debating the death penalty with our famous Doobie.
I remember.
Oh God.
Okay. But yeah, I thought I recognized you. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. Next we have Mad Latin. Oh man, look at him. That fancy, his fancy new digs. That he wishes he has. That's aspirational, really, that background. One day, when hypechest.com takes off, which you should check out, right? When hypechest.com takes off, then he will have use a digital background like that. Okay, great, right? And there's our friend Smugpug, which we're really excited to have. Thank you for being here, Smugpug. And then Mixed Vivian Wolf. Amazing Mixed Vivian Wolf. Love to see her. Right? She's
What's up, dickheads?
Oh god damn it! She's such a delicate flower. On to and then last but absolutely not least, we have Amanda Smash. Amanda is back with us, right? Off on vacation, right? That's what she does. On Thanksgiving, she goes off to a tropical cartoon locale, and she enjoys herself. Thank you for coming around, Amanda. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I would like to lead this by starting a prayer. So you could all please join us. Bless us, Black Jesus, and these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ. A femboy. Aww.
Woman.
Woman.
Hey, women. Yeah, boy.
Post for all the chatters.
This. God.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh God, I gotta.
Post for all the rap dogs.
Deafing this shit. Why? What? For fuck's sakes, here we go. What is happening? What is happening?
Mukbang stream. Thanksgiving mukbang stream.
This is unauthorized. I specifically said no to this. Mad Latin. This is what This is what it looks like when workers unite on the internet, and I've got to crush this immediately, right? I gotta take a page out of my man Jeff Bezos' book and crush the workers. I specifically
this
said,
is the oppression, man. This is Prime going on his capitalist arc right there.
No, end it. Crush it all.
Hello.
This is the worst.
I literally choked on my food and had to go on mute. Like when he turned his camera on, I literally almost died.
Coming at all. Man. Good stuff. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great.
A women indeed. Yeah.
Hey, woman.
Yeah, boy.
No, Zonia, no, we crush workers here. We're all about, didn't you hear how I started this off? I started off a long article praising the work of Jeff Bezos and hunting down union workers around the world for sport, okay? All right? So that's what we do here. But...
Are you saying...
Yeah.
Are you saying you don't believe in Black Jesus and you're not going to offer praise to Christ our femboy?
Oh, no,
okay,
no, I believe in Black Jesus. No, that makes sense.
Okay.
But
I couldn't read the full prayer. I felt bad. There was words cut off because of the screen. So I'm like, what are these 2 words before femboy? I don't know what to say here.
Yes, I'm a friend boy.
It was very short. Okay.
oh wow. Okay. Well, this has been an experience.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Jay Cook is also here. Jay, how are you? Looking nice. And is that like what are you wearing here? What's going on here?
Oh, this is a new look. It's called a sweater upside down. Literally, so this sweater looks like a normal sweater.
Okay.
Right side up, and then you put it in upside down, and it looks like a nice crop top.
I kind of want to go flip my sweater upside down now.
You should do it.
I blew you up on the screen, so everyone can take a good look at this. This looks good, actually.
Right?
Yeah, it actually does look pretty good. I gotta admit, yeah.
It's a classy. I went to a classy bar. I just came from dinner.
Uh-huh.
I literally just came from dinner. I literally just got home like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it hits the mark.
Okay.
10 out of 10.
Nice. Well, I hope you were there with someone.
Sweater. Who knew?
Yeah, I hope you were at the bar or wherever the restaurant with people you enjoyed being there with, right? Yeah. Glad to have you here.
I also came from a classy establishment too. And
a tree?
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Okay. But thanks, crew.
Okay. Does this not work with hoodies?
This is way too fucking.
I mean, I think
You've got a pouch on the front with the hood. You can, like you got a pocket now with a hood if you flip it.
I mean, it's gotta be has to have a wide enough neck for you to, like a sweater has like a wide enough neck, you know. For you to
I mean,
flip it upside down. Sorry.
If you flipped it upside down and then like tied the hood underneath your crotch to the back, like you'd have a bit of a like one of those baby what are they called, baby bouncers or whatever.
The onesies.
Diaper?
It's a onesie.
No.
You wear a onesie.
Okay.
You could wear that and literally nothing else, right?
I'd prefer that not happen.
Oh god. Oh boy. All right. Did you guys want to talk about the topic, or I don't know what's going on here?
Let me first ask you a question that you pivoted away from multiple times.
I didn't pivot away.
Yeah. I believe you did, and I believe I have at least 6 witnesses. Okay. So
right.
Prime.
Yeah.
In regards to this topic,
yeah,
you would agree that you are a streamer, correct?
I would agree I'm a streamer.
Would you agree that you receive donations?
I would agree that I seek donations, yeah.
Okay, so then would you agree that you are also part of the problem since half of your donations go to our Lord and Savior, Jeff?
Just like I said when you asked me the first time, I did. I am part of the problem. Yeah, I am part of the problem in terms
also,
of...
get your Prime loot box. Sign up now. Get your pay for your sub. You never know what you're gonna get. You might get a mukbang out of nowhere. You might get me trying to put on a sweater backwards, or I don't get it. I'm trying. I just can't.
Yeah, I can't stick around. I just came to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody and to embarrass you. I hope it worked.
We missed. We already missed you.
I'll be in chat. But bye, guys.
Bye. Oh well.
I'll represent for the chat. I'll step in the ring.
Okay.
Don't worry, we're here for you.
Okay, yeah.
Wait until I finish this bowl of delicious Thanksgiving salad.
So okay, well, while Mad Latin is eating himself to orgasm, well, let's get back to the topic at hand.
Wait, what the fuck is the topic?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Trying to run a fucking thing here. Like, all right, all right. Zonia, that's not what I'm called Prime. But anyway, back to it, right? So we're talking about Amazon, right? For the uninitiated, talking about Amazon. We were just talking about global actions are taking on Black Friday to for a fight for better working conditions for workers around the world, right? Fight for better pay, all those good things, right? Like, what are your thoughts on this, right? Like, should you take that to account in Black Friday? Like, Black Friday is a moment of massive consumerism, right? In fact, like a Black Friday into Christmas, massive consumerism, right? Like here in the States, right? Like e-commerce happens now, right? People are lining up at GameStops like now for those Black Friday sales for the chance to get their hands on a fucking PS5. I wasn't going to do it, but I am in the market for a PS5, and it's kind of bullshit. Can't get my hands on one, but it is what it is. This is where consumerism happens, and should we turn back? Can we turn back, right? Amazon is part of this issue, right? Rampant consumerism, having those like 2-day shipping, right? Like a part of that article I talked about was better working conditions for the truck drivers. They were talking about the pace that they have to go at, right? And how it's fucking killing them. And they want a better contract for that. But still, people here, they use that 2-day shipping. That 2-day shipping actually, it has an effect. It has an effect. There is a cost, right? It might be free 2-day shipping, but someone out there is paying for it, right? So can we turn back? Can we do better? Chris has an answer.
No.
Okay.
On our side, like, I'm just gonna say it right now. No matter how much I am for workers, no matter how much I want to support them, right? I'm too lazy even for like 2-day shipping, right? I'll pay for the 1 day if I can get it. Right? Sometimes I'll sneak it out, right?
I have literally paid, like, I have literally bought something at like 4 a.m. and paid for the by 10 p.m. shipping. Except I don't pay for it because it's Amazon Prime, right? So I get it for, I can just click that and then it gets there before 10 p.m. on the same fucking day. It's amazing.
Like,
Go ahead.
I participate in like everything Amazon does, right? Like, I'm watching all the shows, like I'm buying things constantly from them. I just signed up to go back to work for them for like a month or two before I moved to Florida to save up some money, right? Yeah, like it's a flex position. I didn't go back. I'm not going back to the warehouse. I'm going to Whole Foods. But like I participate in so much of it. Like it's part of so much of my life at this point. Like, to have it gone, right, it would be a complete change. Sometimes I get groceries delivered from them, right? They're like, they've infiltrated so much of my life at this point, right? I'd have to like completely change things around if I if they're out of it. And like I see that as like very much a huge problem, right? Like that I've allowed them to infiltrate my life to this point.
Well, it's not just your life; it's everybody's life, right? Like, the whole like our entire like supply chain and logistics system, like effectively, like the basis of our economy is like radically transformed in a permanent way, and like it's not gonna change anytime soon. So like we're gonna have to adapt to this. And the thing is, like, solidarity to resist something like as massive as whatever this is requires like desperation on like a great quantity. So like we're starting to see signs that like things are cracking, right? I think it's just a matter of time before there's enough cracks and enough people in bad straits that we get the desperation required to build a solidarity and build an actual movement that'll make changes. But I don't even know what that looks like, because like I can't conceive of it, right?
Okay.
No,
All right. So, hot take. I agree with Chris. No, but I made the horrible sin of looking at chat. Because like this is about just giving up. No, like answering no doesn't mean giving up. The thing is though, these aren't dichotomic things, you know, like you can want these very effective and efficient systems and like online ordering that can be there in 2 days, while at the same time like trying to address the issue of unethical and unfair work practices. You know, these aren't mutually exclusive. You know, like as was already hinted at, you know, like literally one method would be, you know, either upping the pay of the employees or encouraging hiring more employees, you know, improving workers' rights. Like giving workers rights and giving them more pay, giving them more rights and more pay, or potentially hiring more workers does not mean that you necessarily have to sacrifice the services that you have now. Like, you know, like as we all admit, we live in a society that is predicated upon consumerism. And so, like, to a certain degree, we all know boycotts don't fucking work. And so I think the idea of it too, though, like in the sense, I don't know, maybe it's my hot take as I'm thinking about off the hip, but it seems like actively, like for lower income people, by not participating in a time where you're getting this access to cheaper services is potentially a time when you're just harming yourself. Because you're just losing that access, you know, like your hard-earned dollars, you know, like literally, like we need to save as much dollars as we can. And so, for example, like I'm looking at an item that is now $40 cheaper, and so now with that, now I can get 2 different items. So effectively, through that means I can consume more, get more of what I'm wanting or needing per se, you know, from these deals.
Jeff Bezos is richer, like has a net worth higher than the yearly budget of some countries. This man can afford to pay his fucking workers. Like how, like me using the service doesn't really make any fucking difference. Like we have to work out some way of like placing pressure on Bezos. This is the problem. Like any boycott we organize is just like it's not gonna be big enough to put a dent in that man's fucking fortune.
And boycotts don't work
same
because
systems
of that.
that have already been occurred. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say like sorry. Before like yeah, like literally the method that would have to be utilized is the method that's already going on all across the U.S. right now at various countries. It's literally worker strikes. And I think like in particular, the same reason why like a good way that people bargain for is they strike during the holiday seasons because that's when a lot of businesses make the most profits. Well, guess what? That's when you fucking do the fucking strikes because that's when they say, hey, all of us are just gonna not involve in this, and now that is seen on the corporate end as a bunch of fucking lost profit. You know, the workers don't want to work, but we're still trying to buy shit, and so it basically puts that pressure on that corporate end to say, oh well, we better fucking now we need to give something to these workers so then we can continue making more money. Otherwise, you're just a profit loss.
I agree that strikes do work, but I think it's not. It depends on the industry, right? Like recently, the IATSE strike in the film production industry, that was a strike that worked. The Amazon strike, in particularly Alabama for better wages, that did not pan out for them. So this is something that has been tried, however, has not worked. So a combination of worker strike and particularly for how big Amazon is, consumer money not going into Amazon. It has to be a combo for the level that how big Amazon is. It has to be a combination.
From my understanding of the Alabama strike, though, my understanding is they did get Amazon to the table, and the workers had a vote on it. It just happened that the workers effectively voted against their own interest. If I remember that specifically.
Yeah, and it was through, from what I saw through like Twitter threads and watching Politico takes on it. It was through Amazon workers who were discouraged from voting against the company that they were working for at the time. So it was a company at the end of the day that kind of pushed that through.
Yeah, strong arming. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
So basically coercing them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but like it was very technically done, so it was hard because like I think there's rules against it, and they were able to get away with it without like getting caught. They had a very special. I think it's like the same firm that's working on Blizzard's stuff right now. Actually, they had this company that sort of was there as like some sort of. They said it was for consulting, but it was really just to discourage workers.
You mean the Pinkertons?
Yeah, Blizzard hired Pinkertons to actually snap those game developers into shape too.
Yeah. No. They actually, I think Amazon actually hired the Pinkertons.
They didn't. Wait, did they really?
Yeah, the actual fucking Pinkertons. Amazon Pinkerton spies.
What?
Hire Pinkerton spies.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, if you have enough money, you know, to go against the people that you're employing, then yeah, you can actually hire the fucking Pinkertons to do your dirty work, right? Like, and be successful.
Yeah, the actual Pinkerton agency, like that's what they used.
Wow, like mask off times a million, right? Like, holy shit. That's so wild.
And so, but okay, like, I feel like when we say that, you know, boycotts don't work or consumer action does nothing, right? I mean, is that actually the case, right? And especially, like, if people stand with workers, right? Like, with coordinated action. Because sure, maybe just a boycott doesn't do anything, right? Maybe just a work stoppage doesn't do anything. But if we have coordinated efforts, it just kind of feels like this is a good way to like take responsibility off our shoulders, right? It's like, oh well, there's nothing I can do, and so it gives me permission to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think it works. It's just like at the scale that they're trying to do it now, like the scale that they have been doing it, this doesn't work, right? It has to be so large that the company can't ignore it, right?
It has to be a combined effort.
Yeah.
But it's that issue of like, I mean, like working within our realistic system, like that'd be highly unlikely, you know, for the reason that we're already cited, like by other people, like, you know, and the reason why, like, I'm not specifically like praising boycotts that much, I guess, opposed to unions, because unions are currently have been our tried, true, and tested methods that have been successful thus far in most instances. While in boycotts, I mean, and this is open for any of you guys who happen to know, like, has there been like any particular like boycott that has actually like garnered that type of change?
I mean,
like, it doesn't have to be the Amazon scale, but like, you know, like medium-sized business makes a change because they boycotted their business.
There was the hamburger place in Portland, right? Oh God, I forget what they were called, but the workforce unionized against their owner, who was like particularly a dickhead, and I think they eventually made a union and got him on union busting, and like I don't know if he's even with the company anymore.
No, it's not abolition, so they unionized. No, I'm talking specifically boycotting, the method of boycotting.
There was action on that. I know there's action. I don't have anything on top of my head.
People try it, but like I know people try it all the time. You know, like we see it all the time. Like people pronounce a boycott, but then obviously, you know, like we see Dad boycotting fucking Colin Kaepernick, and then he's walking around in fucking Nikes the next day, and these new Nikes.
History of successful boycotts. Scrolling. 2021 January, Twitter permanently suspended Donald Trump's Twitter account in January 2021 to prevent a further incitement of violence, including storming the U.S. Capitol. The decision followed online pressure by Stop Hate for Profit, which took to social media in the week following the uprising, demanding that the platform #ban Trump for democracy. The campaign stated in January that it would call for advertising boycott of any social media platforms that failed to ban Trump before the presidential inauguration. Trump was also suspended there. There's one following a decade-long PETA campaign for Fortnum and Mason decided to stop selling foie gras. Foie gras. Excuse me. Foie gras. I wasn't expecting that word. I'm sorry.
Foie gras.
Campaign thousands of letters and I think protests.
Should we explain what that is for people who don't know?
It's
by
like,
the way?
isn't that
Foie gras?
foie gras?
Yeah.
It's just duck liver. It's you fatten up a duck and then the liver gets really nice and tasty and yummy, and it's illegal in California. Fun fact.
Right.
And
because they force feed the ducks to do it, right? They're just shoving corn into the duck at a
But
rate
it
that's
tastes
like
so good.
It's usually geese, by the way.
Yeah.
oh geese. That makes sense.
And
Does
we had Twitch. Well, okay, so I'm not sure what this counts as. Does this count as a boycott or a work stoppage, right? Because when we had those individuals who stopped streaming on Twitch, like there was like the blackout day and drawing attention towards the hate raids, right? Action was taken after that, but I'm not exactly sure what you would call that. Like, I don't work for Twitter, or excuse me, for Twitch, right? So like,
Do you fill out a 1099?
sorry, what?
Do you fill out a 1099 form for your taxes?
No, 1099.
Oh no. Okay. Oh, okay. Then
I don't
that
work
makes
for, yeah, I
sense.
don't work for Twitch.
I consider like a worker for Twitch or anything. Like if you're making so much money that you need to fill out a fucking like IRS form to like account for your income from.
Oh
there.
no, I have to fill out an IRS form. Like there's an IRS form involved, but that doesn't. There's IRS forms for lots of things. That doesn't mean I'm a worker. I don't work for Twitch. But Twitch has actual employees, but like I'm not one of them. Like I get no benefits, no nothing, nothing. Yeah. But
Okay, I'll put this one in the gray area because that goes into a separate conversation of if streamers are considered workers.
yeah. So I'm not sure where you would put that. But yeah, like action can have an effect. It absolutely can. And when we just say like, well, it's definitely not going to have an effect. Well, then that gets us off, right? Well, then we have to do absolutely nothing. Think when we're scrolling through Amazon, don't take a 1 second thought about it, right? Just click, because we can't do anything anyway, right?
Well, you can feel bad about it, like at the same time. Though, man, like, I got
Maybe,
some
like-
deals, man. I got some deals.
It's like going to Chick-fil-A
like-
and eating like one of those sandwiches and like just crying while you do it. Like, is that the...
Dude, like, I'm a married man that has his fucking all of his purchases fucking looked at. So any price savings a fucking good day for me. So maybe I'm a little biased though from that.
Well, I mean, like the thing is, like this goes back to the whole Amazon being so integrated into our system that like we don't really have very many options. But like, I think on some level, like we could start building, say, like a infrastructure for when things get bad enough that we can actually make a change. Because the thing is, like the change is like something that we can't impact now. Like everything is like way too cheap, way too convenient, etc. But like there's gonna be a time where Amazon's gonna like leverage its position even further than it has, pay workers less, or cause our prices to go up more, or something else that's unfair. And when that happens, that's the opportunity to strike. So there needs to be some sort of infrastructure in place ahead of time for that to work. And I think that would be what to aim for more than anything else.
Instead of like waiting for a day to just not buy stuff from Amazon, you could like everybody, it's totally this is why I came in here. I just want to be like, we're like breaking our backs. Amazon's objectively doing terrible things internationally. Doesn't matter if it's like working with the CIA, doesn't matter if it's like getting into oil and gas. It's really easy to just get off of Amazon products. Like take the time to go to the store, pick it up. And if you don't want it that bad, then obviously it's another thing that you don't really need.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so we have a thing right now where like we're all literally on an Amazon product right now, right?
Yep.
Like,
to be fair, Twitch isn't exactly an Amazon product. Twitch is its own company, and Amazon, I think, is like it's just a major investor. No, it's not like when you talk to Twitch staff, they're like we're not owned by Amazon. Like we've had like meetings, right? Because they have like a digital town hall type thing for streamers. And we're like, no, we're not Amazon employees. Like they've just
like
invested into the company. Yeah, they are a major investor in the company. But they're not.
And when I subscribed to Prime, I didn't use Amazon Prime. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
shit.
what? Hold on. Pause for a second. Be more.
Wow.
Back on my screen. What? Hold on. I'm gonna blow him up too.
I haven't seen this.
Be
Man.
Shit.
more.
This is the watch party. Oh shit!
My man,
Oh
Be
fuck!
more, dude.
I'm in the wrong spot.
Aw, Be more. Look, we've been missing you, buddy. Like you've been deployed. When did you get back?
I'm not the man. I wasn't deployed. I was literally in Jersey stand.
You were
I
deployed.
was in New Jersey.
That's deployed. First of all, Jersey.
I mean, I guess you're right. I'm in New Jersey. I was deployed, right? It's like there's nothing good about that state.
Yeah,
at all.
exactly, right?
I think the only good thing about that state is not even Cory Booker, but his girlfriend Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson is literally the best thing, and she lives in
that
New
whole
York.
place. You see that? She won't even live with her man. She knows that state so bad. Fuck that place. But no, I was working shit ass hours. I was doing my thing out there. I'm finally back, and that's it. Were y'all talking bad about Amazon?
No, never. We would never do that. Excuse me,
shit.
Jeff Bezos. We would never do that.
Good.
But Be more. I'm just happy to have you around. Be more is a great moderator, fantastic moderator. Again, I was saying before, he does a lot for the community. So I just want to shout him out. Really happy to see you. Yeah, hope to see you more in the future. But yeah.
Be more is indeed a person.
And for all of y'all mad that y'all got banned, my DMs are always open.
Okay,
They were never not open.
So Prime. Here's the thing. When it comes to it's a nitpick, but
Oh, that's Smug Pug?
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon bought.
Oh my God, you're an embarrassment.
51% of the market. So technically, Amazon does own it. They have the
So
majority of the
You
shares.
probably
of it,
bought your
so
costume
They
in
do
Amazon.
have a say of what that business does.
I didn't say they didn't have a say, but they have a.
No. But what I'm saying is
they
they
have
have
a
the dominant
majority.
share owner, 61%. So they have that proprietary control.
Yeah, I'm saying that well, look, you talk to Twitch, right? Twitch doesn't. It says that yes, they are a majority shareholder, but like they aren't Amazon employees, right? But so go on with that. But yeah, I didn't say they didn't have action.
That's a semantical thing. That's like saying like.
Well,
Hey,
dude,
that's
I
like
don't know why you argue with me. I'm telling you what the Twitch employees say. So I don't know what to tell you.
It's like most chicken farms are mom and pop chicken farms, but they're subsidiaries of like fucking Foster Farms. You know, we'd still consider those chickens that come from there Foster Farm chickens. That's all I'm saying. So
All right, I think that's kind of pointless. I did want to ask you guys, and I apologize if this hadn't been discussed prior. But there's something to be said about this generation and like the technological advancements that have been made. In relation to like, what if people boycott and then Amazon just says, you know what, screw you guys, they're going to automate everything away. So they boycott for their jobs, and then Amazon just literally says, you know, we're going to have a bunch of robots do your jobs. Is that a possibility sometimes in the near future, or is it a possibility now?
Well, wait, a boycott is not workers
Well,
on
like-
strike. A boycott
If
is
Amazon could do that now, they already
They
would have
would have.
done. Why the fuck would
Probably.
they be paying workers if they could
Hence
just
why I said the
automate it?
question now or in the next 10, 15 years. Is that a
No.
possibility? And is that
Pretty
part of the
unlikely.
hesitation?
No, they wouldn't. There's always going to be like, you know, like I worked in retail for a while. There's always work at a grocery store. Like people think you're going to go to a time when there's no cashier. No, you're always going to need humans there. Because that psychological aspect of like seeing another person when you're engaging in your transactions, and two, ease of comfort. Like if we ever get to this like hypothetical world where we do just go completely automated, all of us are gonna be long dead before that ever happens.
I super disagree with that. Like people like
there's even at the self checkouts, right? There's still there's still employees at the self checkout, making sure people just don't walk past and walk out with their groceries, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always gonna be.
Just
and
one,
I used to be.
come on. Like,
No,
I mean,
more
they're
than
gonna
one.
try to. I mean,
To be fair, those
No, I mean,
those
no,
machines fuck up all the time. You need
automation isn't all about like having no employees. It's about just cutting your manning. Like
Yeah.
for a lot of companies, they want to reduce their payroll. Like yes, automation's gonna help them do that. Like what's going on? Like
and like there's that Taco Bell that's like almost fully automated, right? Like there's gonna be
The
like
goal is to get
one
there.
staff member. Yeah, like they are trying to get there as close as they can. They're not gonna make it all the way. That's
Yeah, and
the
if they
only
can't
chance
get
to
all the
go.
way, they're gonna be happy with wherever they end up. The whole point is to get as close as they can. That's it.
Yeah.
Reduce your
Agreed.
payroll.
It's not
Have
gonna all
less-
happen at once.
Each
though,
person
but-
is a bill. Like reduce your
Yeah.
bills, cut people.
That's what they're gonna do. All right. I actually need to crash, so I'm gonna bid you adieu, everyone.
Alright,
Thanks
man.
for
love.
partaking in the mukbang. I hope everybody enjoyed the sounds of us eating.
Okay.
Smug Pug, why are you wearing a damn squirrel hat and not a pug hat?
Why are you looking like a damn lumberjack?
Oh, you look weird.
I mean, wait.
You're weird.
Did we
Yeah.
just do? Did we just do a mukbang with Smug Pug dressed as a buckmang?
No.
Man,
Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh, Smug, what weird ass freaking head thing is that, man? Is that like an anteater or something?
Is
What
it-
the fuck is that?
You know what? It'll be whatever you want to be, Zig. I told you this yesterday, bitch. It'll be whatever you want to be.
This is sad.
I don't know why you were looking confused, Prime. That was fucking hilarious. Okay.
Sure, if you say so.
I'm good, drunk enough to get.
I probably
Okay,
need a drink right
These
now.
fucking fucking Yankoids so disconnected from where their food comes from. They don't even know what a buck is. Holy shit!
A buck? Oh, you mean like
That's
you
an
mean
English
a deer? Like what?
Yeah, there you go.
A buck? But he wasn't dressed like that. That's why I don't get it. I don't get what you're trying to
What?
do.
He's got he's got
Fucking
some weird-
squirrel.
It's a squirrel. Holy shit, dude! Go
Wait.
back to your costume country. Get
Yeah.
another fucking costume. That costume sucks.
It's obviously a squirrel. Do you see
You
it?
gotta-
I thought it was like a chipmunk.
It's a squirrel or
It kinda
chipmunk.
looks
Yeah,
like a
same
chipmunk,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
same thing. But yeah, well, not the same thing, but still, like
Oh,
more or
yeah.
less the same, right?
Looks like a deer to me.
It's not a deer. You don't recognize animals.
Not a deer.
Looks like a deer. Looks like a deer to me.
It's
No,
not
he's
a
mixed. Let him alone. Leave him alone.
Okay, all right. Well, look.
These people have clearly never even seen a deer.
You don't know. Okay.
Nah, it's crazy.
Prime
She's-
losing his fucking mind over
She's
there.
actively
because he's
triggering
right.
me. She's actively triggering me. Okay. So anyway.
Stop being wrong and you'll stop being triggered.
Oh boy.
That easy.
Back to it. All right, guys. Yes. Does everyone here agree? I need to get a poll. I need to understand, right? Like, do you all think that the consumers are completely disempowered, that they have no role to play in changing the behavior of a bad employee, right? Like, so like a business that's treating its workers badly, that, like, for instance, like another boycott that worked was like the famous boycott, the bus boycott, like of yeah, right. Like, black people should know this. I'm ashamed that I didn't come up with that sooner. But the boycotts in the South of buses, right? Like, it worked, right? Of the transportation system, like that, it can actually work. But do you all think that now that we're so disempowered that we have nothing to do, we have no blame on us because we can't do anything? So I'm going to go down the line. I want to hear what everyone has to say. No dodging. Abolition. What do you think? Abolition?
No.
No? So you think we do have a role to play? We can't hear you. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Something's wrong with your mic.
Way too far away from the mic.
Okay, yeah. We'll get back to abolition then. Be more.
Straight up, I don't care.
Don't-
Like I go online and I'm looking for a certain product. I know what I want, and it's cheaper here. I'm gonna get it the cheapest way possible, and then my leftover money, I'm gonna use it to either buy another product, put a retirement account, save up for a second house. I don't got time for half of this shit. I was like, I'm fighting certain battles, but like this where I purchase my products from, that's just not where my heart's at right now.
Okay, all right. So, B More is saying, right? Jeff Bezos is God, and I will not question him.
No,
Got
but
it.
here's the thing,
No.
though, right? Here's the thing, like, basically, we need to print out a list of like the top 50 richest people in America, and then we need to just like fucking put a warrant out for their arrest. Like, these motherfuckers are not paying their taxes. Like, they're not paying their taxes, not paying their fair share. They're not contributing property to society. But this is not just that is like, well, we want to stop shopping at a company? No, we need better politicians. We need to fix this on the back end.
Okay, Chris.
No, be more like I agree with be more. Even though I think this is like on us as consumers to help stop this, right? It's just not going to happen because like it's too convenient, right? So if it's if it's the cheapest, the most convenient form of like a purchase you can find, right? People are just going to choose it, right? And like yes, you can say these terrible things are happening to the workers or whatever. Like if I see like if I'm trying to buy colored pencils, right? And on Amazon they're like $40, but everywhere else they're like 80 for the amount that I want.
For colored
Bro,
pencils? Oh,
yeah.
like a pack, I guess, of maybe. Yeah.
Say like Prismacolor is like they're that expensive. So say like I usually get like a pack of 72, like 72 different
Okay,
colors.
sure.
So like usually on Amazon, they'll have it right there, half the price of what it usually costs. But if I go to like a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby or whatever art store, right, and if they don't have like a discount, a coupon for that time, it's gonna be like $80, double, triple that price. So like when I see Amazon has that, like that really good deal, and I can get it in 2 days. Oh, I'm jumping at it.
Well, first of all, don't go to Hobby Lobby. That's don't do that.
Prime, that's the root of the issue, right? It's like don't go to Hobby Lobby. They're denying women contraception. Don't shop at Walmart. They're paying terrible. They have terrible compensation packages. They barely have a retirement plan. Don't shop at Amazon. They're terrible. Don't shop at Michael's. They pay their workers minimum wage. It just turns into a shit show. Like, what you want me to do? Chop down a tree and fucking make this shit myself?
Well, I think you should start there, but there's also...
Okay, then.
Prime, also... Hold on.
Pick up your hatchet and let's go outside.
Look, if Chris is living in bumfuck nowhere, okay, then sure, all right, then I guess that's it, right? But it's not like there aren't any other options for these places, right? There are local stores, right? There is, like, the whole support your local bookstore thing was about retailers like, Barnes and Nobles, like the other one that went out of business, and Amazon too, right? Who've taken over the book business. But there are like small, like local shops that you could support in your area, right? Now, again, right?
I would love to raid your blue room and then find all the products made by companies that treat their employees like shit. Like, damn, like what are we gonna?
No, Juan, I'm not. No, wait a minute. I don't even pretend.
Your headphones are probably made in Indonesia. Your headphones are probably freaking slave labor. Like, the hell is this?
Okay.
It's like,
right. I could go to a local art store. The problem is that like at this point, right, there's only like 1 or 2 left in the entire city because like they can't compete with the prices of like say an Amazon or a Walmart. So like they have to buy their stuff wholesale from whatever distributor they can get it from. Right. Somehow Amazon, right, is still able to get cheaper prices, still able to undersell them like crazy. And I don't understand how. I don't know. Maybe because the sellers on there are like just like the distributors are just going to Amazon and selling it to people themselves. Right. It's a weird thing. But like I know there's one local art store near me, but they don't sell the type of art supplies that I use. They mostly cater towards like painters. So like I just don't go there. Right. And even though I could if they had the products I wanted, but they know they can't compete with those prices that Amazon or like Michael's or Hobby Lobby does when they do the coupon discounts.
Yeah. So I know. That's what I'm saying. Not for anything, not for everything, right? But there are options for certain products. That's why I specifically brought up books. But okay. I'll get to my response. So like, B Moore's challenged me, so I want to address it directly, but like I'll get to that later. So abolition. Let's go back to you, and then we're gonna go to everyone. I want to hear what everyone has to say.
Hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's absolutely everybody that uses.
You're gone again.
Working.
You're gone
Yeah,
again.
it's your mic.
You gotta get a little closer, I guess.
you buy his mic at a mom and pop shop.
He's already by his. Yeah.
Terrible return policy. Okay.
Yeah.
All sales are final.
Hold on. I heard you again. Try it again. It's lighting up, but we're not hearing you. I don't know what's going on, buddy. And keep working on that. We want to hear from you though. Let's go to the next person. Everything moving around. Free and Chippy. Go ahead.
I think personally, I think civilians consumers can have a pivotal role to play in trying to change Amazon's, whole perspective and the whole help behavior towards their workers. But the problem is we don't really have much incentive to boycott Amazon because realistically, we're not going to go to eBay. eBay is going to beat us over the head with their delivery prices and with their overall pricing on goods. And then what other alternatives do we have after that? It's like, do we go to Alibaba where, let's be honest, a lot of their shit is fake? You know what I mean? So consumers don't really have many other options. So it's, if we boycott Amazon, where else are we going to go for online shopping and at the best convenience, kind of riding off the back of what B More and Chris said, it's just the easiest to go to. It's the most convenient.
Okay, well, let's keep track of that word convenient. We're gonna hear that a lot today. Let's go. Should have a convenience counter. Let's go to Jay.
You guys, oh my gosh, what happened to fucking consumer research? What happened to the cheapest thing is not always the best thing to buy, in my personal opinion. Now, Chris, to your point, you were talking about how sometimes for art supplies, which I do know, I have a lot of art friends, and they do say that they go to Blick all the time. They shop at Blick because there are a bunch of locations here in New York City, so that's a place that they go. But I know that I'm pretty sure that's not always available in other
nowhere in Ohio. So
yeah. But yeah, back to my point. The cheapest thing is not always the best thing to buy, and it's not always the item that will last. And I feel like Amazon usually advertises the cheapest thing that is the thing that will also get to you the fastest. With that said, I'm also hearing the thread that consumers don't matter. I feel like that's what I'm hearing. And I think there is power in that, the fact that you guys aren't realizing that consumers are also employees. People who work at Amazon also probably buy shit from Amazon. I think we're missing the moment that we're in right now of everyone can talk to each other and everyone can join forces and really make an impact in how people shop and how people buy things. And I personally, I don't always go to Amazon Amazon is not my first place to buy items. I usually try to shop locally, but I will caveat that I do live in a metropolitan area, and I know that is not always the case. So
okay, next person was Mike. Hello.
It's kind of I guess just broken record at this point, because it seems like every time we say we need to try to vote for politicians who are going to hold rich people accountable, they always just kind of seem to do the opposite of what they're saying. So ultimately, if we can get somebody who actually does what they're going to say, or does what they plan to do with the hyper rich actually paying their fair share, then there could be some sort of system in which maybe Amazon pays a tax for how much they're undercutting business, or perhaps Amazon works with small businesses that are struggling to help them with some delivery and stuff like that. Because I feel just based off the the discrepancy of how much Amazon is able to undercut them for buying a lot of bulk stuff that these small businesses can't actually afford, or can't afford to pay that much or buy in bulk, the small businesses are just going to die out. So sometime hopefully in the next, I don't know how long, Amazon will actually be held accountable for the the actual detriment that they're doing to a lot of small businesses, and whether that's consumers boycotting, which I don't think is the most productive way, but if our politicians aren't going to do it, then maybe we have to do it ourselves. So I guess at some point it's just going to have to be, are we going to be the ones to do it, or are we just going to have to keep trusting the system? So I don't quite have the answer, unfortunately.
Okay, Smug.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty unchanged. So again, I never made any hard to find out line that consumerism cannot be an influence. However, though, and straight off the bat, I was doing quick research on it. But for example, we talked about the Montgomery bus boycotts. From what I'm seeing here, it ended on December 20th, 1956. However, though, it looks like it was more predicated based on a Supreme Court ruling saying that the practices that were occurring at that time were unconstitutional, and so it was a federal government entity that was that pressure saying, hey, you can't do this, and not necessarily that it was because, you know, that so many people just stopped writing. You know, and that's not to say that like mass consumerist boycotts couldn't be effective in conjunction with the like what was already discussed, unionization and whatnot. But nevertheless, though, that still means that unionization is still the major key. And like the thing is, though, like my biggest point about my doomerism about the consumerism is the point that effectively, in order to do this, like at this point, you would not only we need mass amounts of basically people against utilizing Amazon in this country, but also in also in Canada, the UK, Germany, and I believe if I saw it correctly, I have to look again, but also in Mexico too, to also have to mitigate their profits. And to do that, you'd have to get such a huge amount of people to do it that it makes it unlikely. Now, like, does that mean like people who are hopeful that that's a possibility just go, oh, well, I can't do it, therefore, like, you're smug pugs telling me not even to try? No, you can. However, though, you know, understand that the goal you're trying to achieve is a very long goal to get to.
Zeke.
Yes. Boycotts are good at raising awareness at the very least. So, like, I'm not against a boycott. I just don't think it's going to work on the scale that people think it will. The only way for it to work is to hold people accountable for the boycott.
That's it.
Honestly, that's the only way it's going to work. Is on this massive scale is just to hold people accountable.
What does that mean? I don't know what you mean by
government action.
On this.
Government action.
Okay.
That's what. That's
okay.
Yeah. That's the only way to even go about making that successful. Because like even if we do, hey, let's boycott Amazon or you know whatever. Like how are we to know that like that you know Cynthia next door or like Karen down the street is going to boycott with us? You know, it's
boycotts.
No way
but boycotts don't assume that everyone is going to be a part of it, right? Like taking the boycott, right? Like if a boycott had to assume that everyone was going to do it, well, then no boycotts would ever even happen, right? Like
right. But if we're not changing the business's bottom line, they're not going to change unless the government steps in and changes it.
Well, okay. Well, we'll get into it in a second. I want to make sure we get Vivian in. Vivian.
I mean, I kind of agree that like the only thing that's really gonna promote any kind of change is mass worker action. I think it has to be strikes, and for that you need strong unions, which is a real fucking problem when it comes to Amazon, obviously, right? I don't really know what the solution is here beyond activist groups continuing to work towards you know, making Amazon workers aware that like they should have some kind of fucking union that isn't just a front for the company to you know, like the HR department, right? Like I that's the only way I see anything fucking changing. We're stuck in a very unfortunate situation at the moment. I do think like there's been a wave of strikes. I think there's going to be more, and I think we really have to think about changing the culture in the US and the UK. Like what Reagan and Thatcher did with regards to the unions wasn't just on sort of a legal and organizational level, but it was a cultural level as well. You know, how many people will you hear say like, oh, I haven't joined my union because they just take money from you, they don't fucking do anything, blah blah blah, because you've got all these like shell front unions for companies that really don't fucking do anything, you know, scam unions. So yeah, it is about a total shift in the culture, I think. That's the problem.
Yeah, like I think like being now that we're like on this like back end of, well, I say back end of COVID, but like I think like basically like for like all of us as well as even just viewers on Twitch, like if you're ever wanting a time to fucking like this is my chance to advocate for a union, like literally it is fucking now. When literally when we have, despite massive job opportunities, more people are not choosing to work more than ever because there's this realization that like me working a middle management position for $13, which is less than the people I manage, is bullshit. And so it's like, and it's literally like, even just today, you know, at the awkward Thanksgiving political talk, I'd had a fucking conservative, big Trump dude for the whole time admit, like, yeah, paying people fucking $15 to perform middle management or actually manage the store, like, by themselves is bullshit. And so, like, this is that time when you can be like, yeah, brother, I'm for you. Yeah, fuck them rich. Yeah, fuck them rich libs. You know, you can say rich libs or just rich people. Yeah, fuck them. Get unions and shit. You know, this is your chance to
I don't know. I feel like boycotts a company so big with such a global scale as the Amazon. I just feel like it is compensating, coping, whatever you want to call it, for the lack of government. We need to first off like establish better systems to protect unions. Take a look what Amazon did. Like Amazon had protected some shady tactics to stop one of their locations from unionizing. We got to make shit like that illegal. Like, but overall, just like if Amazon's running deals, people are gonna fucking buy it. People are just gonna be on the DL about it.
Abolition one more time. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of low.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like, it was kind of a big like story, right? When it came out, the Nestle won a Supreme Court case essentially justifying the use of slavery, like child slavery in particular at like the Ivory Coast, like to farm their chocolate. And people still buy that shit. It's still on the fucking shelves. So like the same thing with Amazon. It doesn't matter how terrible a company is. Like the pure
I actually
convenience or,
literally
like, the
don't.
addiction to like the product.
I actually literally don't fucking go near Nestle anymore. But that's the problem, right? It's like you kind of have to make the decisions of like what's important to you and what you can bear, right? Like I can easily bear not buying any Nestle products. Doesn't really affect my life in any great way, right? Everything Nestle sells I can get elsewhere, and their chocolate fucking sucks anyway, right? But like, you know, if I was to do that for every unfair labor practice, like I wouldn't be able to buy fucking anything. Like,
my issue is I would be paying crazy shipping costs.
So okay.
If I had to shop in other places.
So this is all right. Multiple things. One, you can't possibly expect everyone to be involved in every particular action, right? So there's that, right? Like that's just the way it is. That's how it works, right? Like and to Vivian's point, right? Let's say there was something that was, I don't know, crucial to your work life or to like to your actual life, right? That was sold in one of these disreputable marketplaces, right? Like then that person probably needs to get this item, right? This person does not have the room in their life to be involved in this particular action. Okay, great, right? And it's unreasonable to think that everyone should know about these things, right? So talking about the Nestle and their child slavery, yeah, that's fucking huge. How many people know that? How many people know that? To say that people are still buying it doesn't take into account that most people don't fucking know this is a thing, right? Like I think a lot of people would actually make a different choice because of what the Viv just said, right? Like it's chocolate. It's not like it's
Nestle
not.
Has...
It's hold on. Nestle has more than that. More than their chocolate. Sure, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. But like, but still, like, there would be a certain level of a certain number of individuals who would go out of their way to not buy Nestle products if they knew. But people don't know. Ask the average person on the street. They don't know this is a thing. Guaranteed, they don't know. So that's another thing, right? And then, when I was talking about consumer action doesn't just mean boycott, right? It can mean lots of things. So back to the shipping, right? So there's the 2-day shipping, which is a huge strain on logistics, right? It's a huge strain on those people who deliver those packages to you. So and you know, we've heard all the horror stories of, you know, what's it like to work for Amazon as a trucker, right? So if they asked you, right, if the unions that you guys have all been fetishizing so far, if they asked you, well, sure, still buy products because we want to deliver products, right? We're truck drivers, we're delivery, that's what we do, right? We deliver, right? But consider not using 2-day shipping, or what Vivian was saying, like that day shipping, right? Like, consider not doing that. Like, would you do that? Would you acquiesce, right? Like,
That's
you get to
easy.
still.
Yeah.
But no, that's easy. But like, it's not.
Like, let me
There's no
let me tell
difference
you
to
why.
that you've been telling me.
Yeah, because no, my issue is if they told me, hey, lay off the 2-day shipping or lay off the same day shipping, it'll help us out. That's easy. I'm not worried about the timing. I'm worried about the cost.
Oh, not everyone says that. No, not everyone says that though.
I get it, but here's the thing though. There's certain products I would like immediately, but the strong majority of products I don't. So to me, that's an easier request. I'm not a total asshole. If they want me to slow down my shipping, sure. But
85% of one. But go ahead. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
that's the beauty of Amazon, right? If I want to buy things from other locations, I have to either get on my car, drop across to another side of the city, or I have to pay pretty high shipping costs. Like, no, like, I'm down to wait, but I'm not down to pay more unless somebody's here is interested in paying the difference for me.
Would you? I have a question then for you. Then would you buy from Amazon over buying from a black business that would take like an extra day longer?
I don't care about timing for the strong majority of things I purchase. So I would but here's the thing. Very rarely am I finding similar prices to Amazon elsewhere. And I'm talking about the same product because I do buy quality. I don't like cheap things.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. So say like the brand of colored pencils, I'd still be getting the same brand of colored pencils.
Exactly.
They'll just be like half the price, right? And how do you compete with it? How do I even like make that choice to just spend like twice the price and something because I know Amazon's a terrible company, right? But like even the company that I'd be going to purchase it other than Amazon, right? They have their own issues, like Hobby Lobby, and I'm not gonna lie, right? I know the shit that Hobby Lobby does, right? The hoarding of artifacts that aren't there,
Yes.
like that, like. But like they're around the corner, and like sometimes they have coupons that I just like for deals that I just can't pass up, right? And I'll walk in there and I'll have all the old white ladies staring at me that work there, and I'll gladly buy some of that stuff, even knowing how terrible it is.
So you're saying you then would buy, and this is for not just you, Chris, but also to be more, because it sounds like this is both your guys' point, that you guys would purchase an item that costs less, but the company was morally bankrupt, than purchasing an item that costs, let's say twice as much, but was ethical. The shipping was like fucking carbon neutral, like all they did all of the things right in the moral ethics realm, but they just cost twice as much. You would buy from the place that's morally bankrupt and cost less.
Straight up, I'm not gonna beat around. Yeah. Here's the thing though, is like the issue is we need to establish better rules, better laws, which restrict companies from operating in these ways. So all these shady practices that we're not happy about, these anti-union practices that Amazon partakes in, we need to do what it takes to get our government to enforce laws that don't enable them to do these things. So it's like we're so busy about boycotting a company, we should probably be boycotting politicians because they're not doing what they need to do.
But okay, but like, okay, this
What was
is
that
my
noise?
point.
That was a weird noise that came out of your mouth.
Sorry, I'm sorry. My point is though
That was the
that
best
like
noise. I loved it.
I'm sorry.
Great.
My point though is that like your money is not like, to a business, your money is agreeing with their practices. So
Not necessarily.
I wouldn't say that.
Like there's like you
how is it not?
I can't speak for like I can't speak
on where you live. That's very dependent upon where you live. Like because like if you're like at least in suburbia or a major city, like where you have those options to go out there and get access to certain items, then like I think then sure there is some credence to that argument. But like like I was using my own personal anecdotes. I live in fucking bumfuck rural desert area.
In the food desert.
Walmart came in, it killed everything. Our downtown has had fucking leasing for freaking 15 years. You know, and it's gotten to a point where it's like, oh yeah, I can shop at other like locally owned, but now I'm driving over an hour and a half to get to those to try and get the item that I'm specifically needing, or I go to Walmart to try to get those items because they did the Walmart monopoly in the town. And so, like, it's not necessarily too clear cut in that sense within that question.
So what happens is Walmart's able to establish food deserts. They're able to create a stranglehold. They're able to show up in a location, lower their prices so damn low to the point where they're operating at a loss at that specific location, and then use profits from other locations to subsidize that location to put everybody else out of business. Let's say now you move in that area. Walmart's already dominated. Walmart already did their thing. They already drowned out all these other companies. Now I'm not saying you're saying this, but now people are gonna feel you're shopping at Walmart now. That means you agree with their practices. Or you're telling a low-income individual they need to either drive extremely further away in order to find the same product for more money. It makes no sense. Like, what we need to do is get the government to fix this damn issue.
Yeah, I'm broke. I can't speak for B-More, but like I don't have that much money to spend on things.
B-More's got plenty of money.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
Yeah. So like I have to find the best deals that I can, because like otherwise, like I'm just not gonna be able to get it. And you say like you can just save up, or sometimes right when I have the money, I gotta spend it because it's gonna go to something else if I don't, right? And that's just the truth, right? Something's gonna pop up where it's just like that money's gonna be going to something else, even when I try to save up a bunch. So I try to get things like when I can, at the time I can. So like, because I can't bank on the fact that I'm gonna be able to hold on to this, I'm gonna be able to save it. That's not the case all the time. Like a lot of times it's not the case. So it's like if I have the opportunity, I see that Walmart has that price point, I'm gonna jump at it because I know I need this thing for this whatever. And if I miss this point, I'm probably not gonna be able to get it at all. And it is what it is.
I get it at all. Like, we live in the age of internet. I'm sorry, like that's not I can't see that as a valid excuse.
Well, I wouldn't say get it at all. I would not get it in like a long span of time, right?
Okay.
So say like if I'm trying to say to get a graphics card, right?
Mhm.
I made the mistake of like not upgrading my graphics card because I was like, yeah, these new 3000 series cards from Nvidia are coming out, but like they're at a really high price point. I could probably get this right now, but I'll wait. Like my graphics card is good enough, I can wait for like these prices to come down or something and like go for that. And what happened, right? That's not the case, right? The graphics card market is like gone to shit. And like even though I could buy a graphics card now as an upgrade, right? It's way out of the price point I can afford now. And if I would have took the chance to go for it when I had it instead of waiting, I would have been good, right? But I didn't. And like that's the gamble you make. Someone with money, right? They'll still spend that. Like they may have to take a bigger hit, but they can shrug it off. Like this market is shit, but I can still afford it. It's not for me. That's not the case.
But that's
I'm praying on the market.
Rich people wouldn't even operate in that way because I mean that's the thing. Rich people are rich for a fucking reason. It's rich because you're penny pinching your money.
That's not why they're rich. That's not why they're rich. Penny pinching doesn't make you rich.
I would not. Fucking Vine's theory of economic migration.
Contractors to build their homes. They're looking for cheap shit. They're finding people who.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
They're looking.
They're buying scalped PS5s. They're buying scalped consoles. Like they're spending an absorbent amount of prices.
They're buying Rolexes.
And that's my thing. Okay, but then that brings me to my next point. Like, are we talking about goods that are wants? Are we talking about goods that are needs? Because that also makes a difference.
Yeah. So that's what Viv was getting to previously, right? She was saying Nestle chocolate, right? Yeah, I can avoid Nestle chocolate. It's not a huge inconvenience in my life. You said she doesn't even like Nestle chocolate all that much. Anyway,
can you avoid Nestle?
But Nestle itself is a different option, which is
they own Gerber. They own. It goes on and on and on.
They have,
same with P&G.
And that's a whole thing, right? So another example of this, like even a better example, I think, are the brothers,
Coke.
Thank you, Koch brothers.
Not the fuck.
The fuck. Oh my god.
Scared of the fuck.
Vivian, we love you. All right. But yeah, the Koch brothers, right? The Koch industry owns a shitload of products, right? A lot of the things in your house are Koch industry products, right? And Koch, I mean, we all know they're like the liberal boogeyman, like the Koch industries, right? But like, how do you avoid that? So yes, that's part of it, right? But of course, again, not every person needs to be part of everything, and not all consumer action equals boycott. You guys made it like consumer action equals boycott, but I kept saying consumer action, right? So consumer action can be lots of things. Consumer action, I agree with you, be more that like the most effective way is government action, obviously, right? But how do we get that government action? If people are apathetic, right, to the point where like they don't pay attention to these things, or they never investigate these things, right? Like what, how, and when are they going to demand of the politicians to take action on these things, right? Like it's
hard,
right? Yeah, like for instance, the fight for 15, right? Like part of that was like sort of boycott-ish, but most of that was like worker action, like like work stoppages, but. What that did is that it brought it to national attention, right? People went to their McDonald's, and then you got people protesting. What are you protesting about? I'm about to get my fucking Egg McMuffin here, right? And they learned about this fight. It raised it to like, and it didn't happen overnight. It took years, that fight for 15, and then it got politicians' attention, saying like, we got to do it. Bernie Sanders takes action, right? And then Amazon raises its price. Like it's not price. How much it's paying people, right? It raises that. All that happens because of action, right? And that includes consumer action, being that I hear you, McDonald's worker. You want to be compensated for more. I'm on your side, all right? How can I help? You want me to call my politician? You want me to write a letter? Okay, I think I can do that, right? Consumer action means lots of things, not just like not buying, right?
Yeah,
for sure. I think we just got to keep advocating and pushing, and maybe we're not going to be able to target these companies specifically, but we could probably soon push for better taxation policy, better like taxation. But that's the battle. That's definitely the battle. I don't have the answer for that one. But keep talking about it and stop default voting.
Yeah, like it's like I think I don't know. It's kind of like being like side implied, but no one hears that. No one's saying like, oh, in order for like a boycott or I guess we can go even broader to consumer action, has to be 100% participation. Like the point is, and nevertheless though, it does have to be enough to be able to affect that business to a noticeable degree, which generally speaking though, like like I'd make the hot take that depending how big the company is, it doesn't even have to be 50%, like get 30%, is what I'd say. But like thing is, like when you got these massive companies that appeal to these massive utilization of people, and not just one country but potentially multiple, like the countries that, like the companies that we're talking about, like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm for it. Yeah, I'm for the application of it. Like, good luck trying to get 35, like hypothetically, even just 35% of people to engage in some form of consumer action against the company. Go ahead and do it. It's just like the acknowledgement that, yeah, it's that's a long journey.
If we look at like, we could take Blizzard Activision for example. Like they're not a big like global market like Amazon. But if we look at them, for example, like the boycott thing, people are boycotting them for obvious reasons, but also like government action also was a thing that kind of like forced their hand as far as the change. I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a mix of the boycott and the government action to force the company to actually change what they're doing.
But the government action, so I guess my argument is that,
the boycotting brings awareness.
Yeah.
But and I think it's government action that obviously is going to force the companies to change. But the boycotting does bring awareness to it.
Yeah,
I think that's right. But I think if we all come to any agreement at all, it would be like the utility of boycotts while it may not be like in any actual action, it helps in getting the awareness out. I think that's something we all would agree on.
Yeah, so exactly that. So when you boycott, right? Let's say like me and Jay, like, okay, we're fucking done with Amazon. Me and Jay, right, in our DMs, we're like, we're done with this company, right? And we keep it to ourselves. Well, not much is gonna happen, but I think a part of the boycott action is literally raising awareness that, like, I am sacrificing something, right? And maybe you should sacrifice that something too, like, for this cause, right? Jay, go ahead.
Okay, wait, that brings me to okay. Oh my god, that's such a great fucking segue. Okay, so recently I read an article that Lush, they're this like facial, like they're like the Bath and Body Works for millennials, Lush. So they're I would categorize this as boycotting as a company. Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. They've left these platforms. They've taken their channels off of these platforms, and they've deplatformed from these social media channels as an awareness for mental health and it's not consumerism, it's something else that's actually really good. But mental health was like a big one that I thought, like,
Suicide prevention, maybe.
I think so. I can't remember. I'll have to look for it, and I'll put it in our chat. But essentially, this big company is deplatforming from social media in a way that I feel like is gonna be the new trend of major companies, because I think it's not always, this is me getting to my point. I don't think it's always consumers boycotting a like necessarily like saying as a statement like we need to boycott blah blah blah. It's the culture as a whole commenting. I think the other part that we're not getting to is like social media as a whole is so big and so many people are aware of it, like companies are aware of it and they're hyper aware of it, and that they advertise to us in a way to target us buying their product, right? So Lush is doing this thing where they're saying like, hey, we hear the culture, we understand what people are saying about how social media is affecting other people, and so we're going to deplatform ourselves because we know we can survive as a company without being on these detrimental social media platforms. So I don't think that boycott, like consumer boycotting, is always the thing. I think it's consumers talking in the zeitgeist of social media and one another that is also a way of boycotting, I guess.
And
like it doesn't like you said, Prime, it's consumer action.
Yeah.
It's just a different way.
I'm wondering, and one last thing is because I've been thinking about the Montgomery boycotts since we brought that up, right? And indeed, there was a case of Browder versus Gale where that was declared unconstitutional. But like, do we? And I don't know, maybe we need like Pisco or something to really talk about this.
Easy read.
Okay. Well, my point is just that, because courts aren't completely separate from the public, right? Like, correct. So the boycott was a national action, right? Where it raised awareness, where you didn't know it was a problem before, right? Like like you do know now, right? Like this was all over the place. And this is how King, right, got to national prominence. It's like through this boycott. This is it, right? This is his moment. And like, are the courts immune to that? So like I'm saying, like, what I'm trying to get to is that consumer action has so many knock-on effects. So it's not necessarily that just you taking profits from a company, right? As we've been saying, as we've been getting to here, right? It's more than that. It's changing the zeitgeist, changing the dialogue, right? And for the power that be, people in that power who might be sympathetic to actually change their minds, right? Okay, I didn't really realize this was an issue, right? I may not live anywhere near this, right? Like, I don't know where those federal judges were based, because it was a federal case. But one way or the other, like, they may not even like have an awareness of this, or like if it's actual issue. But like, once we get action, no matter what that looks like, maybe not a boycott, but something raising action, I think that has an effect. But maybe I'm reaching. I don't know.
I think I got a question for you guys. So, would you be basically we're getting to this conclusion that boycotting is good because it raises awareness of the issue. Here's a question though: would you be okay if someone, for example, like went to Twitter and said like hashtag boycott Amazon while still engaging in their Black Friday deals?
Yes. I know it's fucked up. I mean, like, yeah, or at least talk shit about them. Like, that's fine by me. At least talk some shit. At least let people know their shit. Like, buy your product, cool. Maybe if you keep it on the DL, but just drag them. That's half the dragging them's a quarter of the battle, right? So, but here's the thing. Like, I don't find it wrong or incorrect for, like, let's say a low income individual, somebody struggling to stay in the middle class. They need things, right? Because there's certain things we just have to consume, right? And they're gonna buy these things the cheapest way possible, and then in the meantime, they're not happy about it. To me, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not gonna tell this person from a lower economic situation you got to go pay more. I know you can barely afford this shit, but I need you to go pay more. No, go ahead, buy it the cheapest way possible, put some damn food on the table, and then bitch about these companies.
Yeah, like, and like to Jay's credit, you know, like I think that it's important. Like, it's very important. Like I said, I think there's other avenues too. Like, I'm not sure which though. I do believe like there's other avenues. One like would be the government route, where we could further emphasize the utilization of like smaller businesses that do operate in more ethical and moral means. And there's a way that we, like, for example, like fucking, i.e. government subsidies. We do that shit all the time, you know. Like,
yeah.
You know, like that'd be a perfect way to where you could go, okay, these smaller businesses can now be subsidized for providing a great service, you know, for this, you know, and there's tons of people who'd be willing to do it, like, you know, and so, however, though, I think again, though, like it kind of goes to like this underlying part of like, while there is while we can, I don't even know if I want to say some. I'm kind of done. I don't know.
So I have a place I'm gonna take this conversation.
I guess my quandary is it's weird to like put the onus on the consumer, like especially when we're referencing consumers that we all acknowledge like really aren't garnering that much money, who are the primary buyers of these things. And so like I understand like the consumers can be like ought to do it, but like the push of the should they, I don't know, I guess that's where it still feels really awkward.
My issue is that like it's not that it's all that should be on the consumer. It's just that like I'm saying that the consumer has a role, right? And to say simply that they don't, I think it's just really convenient, because then you can buy your stuff, you can participate in this market and have no guilt, nothing at all, because I guess I can't do anything about it. So
who said no guilt?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
feel dirty. I
feel dirty, and the guilty pleasure of saving money.
So, B-More, thank you for the kind gift sub. Means a lot. Thank you so much.
Don't thank me. Smugpug being come on, Smugpug. You got money for that ugly ass mask, but you can't sub.
Save so much money. Save so much money for this.
Yeah.
I had to boycott 3 other businesses to afford this shit.
So, but
4 months.
But
wait up. I can't get subs. You know, some of that gets, you know.
You are a fucking hypocrite, B-More.
I'm a hypocrite. You know, the money eventually gets in the hands of Bezos, right?
It is.
Oh shit!
61% They got some of that money.
Okay, everybody, boycott, but not this though. Not here. Boycott over there.
Boycott over there. But support this community, right? Through our PayPal button. We have a PayPal button! Exclamation point PayPal.
Oh, don't get me going about PayPal.
Yeah, we got a PayPal button, right? If you don't want to support,
directly.
yeah, donate directly. More of your money gets to us that way, right? So like donate to the channel. You want to use Twitch, you don't want to use Amazon, right? You want to show if you want to show thank you Chippy Ippy for the kind sub, right? Oh no, you did it through Amazon, god damn it. But thank you Chippy Ippy for that kind of support. It helps out a ton. Then we get another one. We can start us a hype train, which helps out like so much, right? So sub to channel, gift bits or gift subs. This is how we power this community. But yeah, like we actually have
Elon Musk was one of the founders of PayPal. I'm just saying, because PayPal's
exactly. No, Elon is beautiful though. Elon's beautiful.
Oh, is he?
No, he's beautiful. No, he's one of the good ones.
He's good.
Well, I mean, to me, that's just a reminder. Like, look, these boycotts, they sound all cool and all that. It does hurt. If
we get 2 more individual donors, we can start ourselves a hype train. But yeah, again, we can also support us through the donation link that we put in chat, which would donate if you want to help us out that way. If you appreciate these conversations and all the things that we do, then be so kind, right? Sub to channel, $5 is all it takes, $5 to keep us up and running, right? Get our emotes, exclamation emotes in chat, the emotes that you get. And you'll get ad-free viewing, and you'll get access to sub-link parts of our Discord, right? You get all of that, right? And knowledge that you are keeping this up and running. So if you like these open panels, where you can be here too, right? So if you're sitting at home, you're like, I want to give my opinion, right? You're like, can't stand Viv and her and her takes, right? Well, you can come in and you can give Viv what for, right? We have that opportunity here on these open panels. Jay, thank you for the $3. Gifted through PayPal, right? Love to see it. There you go. That's how you do it, right? Taking action by giving money to another a separate billionaire. Okay. Support the channel. So yes, sub to the channel. You can sub for 1 month for $5 or sub for multi months. Thank you, Jake Cook, for gifting a sub. Helps us out a ton. Thank you so much. We get one more individual donor. One more individual donor. We can start us off a hype train. Thank you for that, right? But yeah, help out the channel that way. What was I saying? Yeah, you can sub for 1 month for $5, or you can sub for multiple months, right? Give the channel income into the future, or if you have Amazon Prime, if you are sitting on an Amazon Prime, here's what you get to do, right? You get to say, fuck you, Bezos, right? That's the action you can take. Fuck you, Bezos. Pay up, right? He is going to have to give up $250 out of $2.50 of his Scrooge McDuck pile of money, right? And he's gonna be super upset about that. He's thinking about it all night. He's like, I hope those people in Prime stream, they don't do it. They don't fucking do it. Like this is the thing that's going to set him on edge, right? So if you want to take that action, you want to show him up, use your Amazon Prime. Use it here, right? Where we talk about screwing over the rich all the time. We encourage screwing over the rich all the time. So use your Amazon Prime / Prime Gaming here on this community, right? But if you can't do that, well then give him money. Sub, or through gifting bits, or through gifting subs, like J-Kick was so kind to do. Help out the channel, support what we're doing, what we're trying to build here. I can only do it with the kindness of individuals like you sitting at home. So sub to the channel, gift bits or gift subs, right? Or resub. If you have a resubs also help out the hype train, right? So we got a resub ready to pop. Use that resub or continue sub. Like if you got a sub from one of our very, very kind donors, right? Then then help us out. Then continue that sub, right, into the future. Thank you, Thomas the Promise, for 300 bits. Love to see it. Thank you, Thomas the Promise, for the 300 bits. Means a lot. Yes, we love our small, medium, large donors. They make this happen. So thank you, Thomas the Promise, for helping us out. We're at level 1 hype train because of Thomas. Thank you. Because of Jay. Because who was the first one? Drippy Effie and Be More before him, but it doesn't count for this hype train. But still, we're at level 1 hype train. Yeah, I know. It was two. A level 1 hype train. Level 1 hype train. 43% done. 57% left. Can we get to a level 2 hype train, right? Can we get to a level 2 hype train? Is it a possibility? Help us out. Anonymous Chair is throwing their pocket change at us. We'll take it. We're shameless. Thank you for the 1 bit. Okay, sure. But if you want to actually see progress on this hype train, help us out a ton. Help us out by subbing, or gifting bits, or gifting subs, like Drippy Iffy just did. Thank you, Drippy Iffy, for the kindness, right? 33 subs in total. Love to see it. Love the support. Thank you so much, right? Putting us at 60%. 60% of level 1 hype train, 40% left. Only 40% left. Can we get to a level 2 hype train? Is that a possibility? Who out there wants to invest in this community that we are building, that we are maintaining into the future, right? Yes, we come through on Thanksgiving. It don't matter. We're here. We're making content for you. We're doing that because we got that level of support, right? I said, Grandma, get the fuck out of my way. I gotta go stream, right? And I threw her baked ziti on the ground. Like, I'm enough of this shit, right? Like, I got my audience is waiting for me, right? I let her know, right? Pushed her down the stairs. Look, I gotta get to my computer, right? If you want to support that kind of behavior, look, sub to the channel. Sub to the channel. like Aiko just did. Thank you, Aiko, for subbing to the channel, right? And that's a fuck you to my grandma right there. Thank you, Aiko. Aiko, thank you for this. Oh my god. Thank you for the support. We're 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes left. Oh, this hype. We're 2.5 minutes after this hype train. 77% done because of the kindness of individuals like you, right? 23% left. Can we get to a level 2 hype train? Guys, we're almost there, all right? Oh man, you guys are great. Yeah, we're almost there. So help us out. Support the channel, right? Support the channel. Sub, gift bits, or gift subs. This is how we power it all, right? This is how we power it all. This is how we power these open panels. This is how we power our small councils we have on Saturdays, or all black everything, which we usually have on Thursday nights, but no one was going to show up, so we didn't really bother. Or on Mondays we have our Reverie Roundtable. If you like any of that content, if you want to see that content continue on into the future, right? Well, I need your help. Need your support. Sub to channel, gift bits, or gift subs. Resub. You got it. I know you got those resub messages ready to pop, right? Use them on the channel. Help us out right now if you haven't done so yet. But yeah, we got a minute left. Can we get to a level 2 hype train? Need your help. Make it happen, right? Now this is how we get that support. Yeah. So or also, of course, we have our PayPal button. If you don't want to go through Twitch, got that option too, right? Help us out any way you can, so that I can keep coming back again and again, night after night, to give you the content that you demand, right? But I can only do it with kindness of individuals like you. So they are tips, not donations. Tips, okay, that's a good point. Yes, they are tips, not donation. Tip if you like the content. Thank you, Silk Killer. Oh, thank you for the kindness for subbing. We're at 93%. We have seconds left on the clock. Can we make it to level 2 hype train? Seconds left. But Silk Killer, which is an awesome name, right? That's like a really badass name, actually. Drippy Iffy, thank you for helping us out, pushing us over the edge. Of 34 subs in total. But one more sub on the pile. Thank you. And Soul Killer, thank you. Welcome to the crew, right? Enjoy your emotes. And thank you for being so kind to support this channel, support what we're trying to build, right? Enjoy those emotes. We're at level 2 hype train because of that kindness, because of those individuals who've been helping us out. 4.5 minutes off the clock. 4.5 minutes on the clock. 8% done. 92% left. A lot of room for heroes, right? Heroes like Drippy Iffy. Thank you, Drippy Iffy, for being a hero, right? Heroes like Jay. Heroes like Beadmore, even though his thing doesn't count. It's fine. But yeah, heroes like Thomas the Promise, right? Who support this community, who invest in what we're trying to build, right? So if you're sitting out there, you're wondering, well, how do I do this? How do I make it happen, right? How do I ensure this content, which I love so much, which I come back night after night, because it's there for me, night after night, how do I make sure it's around? There's an answer. There's an answer. Gifting subs, just like Drippy Iffy did, right? Or gifting bits, like Thomas the Promise did. Or subbing yourself, like Silk Killer. And again, I really love that name. It's actually pretty badass, Silk Killer. Like, sounds like a supervillain name, actually, right? Like, it's actually not bad. I kind of wish I came up with myself. But anyway, that would be a pretty. I think that'd be like a discongruous name for a progressive channel, like the Silk Killer, right? Like, let's talk about the importance of preserving the rainforest here on the Silk Killer channel. Let's but help us out, help out that actually. So Killer there is helping us out, so you can help us out too, by subbing, by gifting bits, or gifting subs, or resubbing, right? All of that is very useful and allows me to do the things that I do. All right, back at it, right? 8% left. 8% done, excuse me. 2.5 minutes on the clock. 2.5 minutes on the clock. Can we get to level 3 hype train? Is it a possibility, right? If you guys have been saving up money, right, for Black Friday sales, well, look, we got a fire sale here. We got a subs for only $5. I know, right? Ridiculous. We have subs for only $5. So use that Black Friday before you buy that. What do people buy on Black Friday? I don't know.
There's nothing good.
Housing appliances? I don't know.
There's nothing good. It's weak.
Yeah.
You might as well just sub here.
Yeah, might as well.
Weak.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, right? So before you buy that egg beater, I don't know.
That air fryer you're never gonna use.
That air fryer. My parents use their air fryer all the goddamn time.
I like my air fryer. I use it.
The good deals aren't until Cyber Monday anyway. So like,
yeah,
that's what it is. Right now, this shit's weak.
The good deals are Monday, man. Like Cyber Monday. Oh man, God, dude.
Okay. Well, Zig, hit me up if you see anything fire.
Yeah. So if you before you spend your money on those housing appliances, but I mean, you might be able to really use that air fryer. But before then, consider helping out the channel by subbing, by gifting bits, by gifting subs. Any more heroes in chat? Who will tip the channel? I like that, Ajax. I'm going to use that. Who will tip the channel and support us, right? If you enjoy it, support the channel by tipping, right? By subbing, by gifting bits, or gifting subs, right? And supporting all the things that we do for you night after night, day after day, no matter what, right? If you like that we're here all the time, then support, help us out. We have less than 30 seconds on the clock. Any more heroes in chat out there who will be so kind as to help us out, right? Anyone out there who would wants to, I don't know what's going on my screen here. Okay, lots of things are happening. I'm just gonna assume everything's all right. But any more kind individuals who will help us out for this hype train. But thank you for those who did help out, like Drippy Iffy, Aiko, Silk, and Tom's the Promise, Jay Cook, who's been really kind to us, and Be More out there too. Thank you all for the help. It is because of you I can do what I do, and do it as often as I do, right? So thank you for those who have been helping us out. So thank you. We're going to thank our top 5 gifters, because we got to do that. These are the people who do it for us. So at the top, number 1, of course, is Leah. Thank you, Leah, wherever you may be. She is our channel queen. Thank you, Leah, for the help. 112 subs, followed by Zonia Dead with 80 subs. Thank you, Zonia. Tuco22 with 20 subs. Drippy Iffy making it up there. Love to see it. 18 subs. Thank you. Seriously, it means a lot. Benja B with 13 subs. Ty with Taking L's for 13 subs as well. In terms of our bit donors, Leah at the top, number 1 with 45,000 bits. Nick P. Brett with 5,000 bits. Tower with 5,000 bits. Def Not with 5,000 bits. And Black Yamato with 4,300 bits. And we want to shout out Zonia Dead, especially for boosting our server, right? For helping boost the server. Thank you, Zonia Dead, for that. And everyone else who's been boosting. We'll I gotta create like a thing for that, like a role in the Discord server. But yeah, if you guys got Discord Nitro boosts, right? Sitting around, then help us out in Discord, right? Exclamation point social for our Discord, right? Jump in there and throw it in. Helps out the channel, gives us like better sound quality, you know. So thanks to people who've been boosting so far. And yeah, I gotta come up like a role for you guys, so we all know who the boosters are. But Zonia helped us out today by boosting. Thank you, Zonia. Thank you for everyone else who's been doing it in the past. Okay, yeah, I went.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to go AFK to go to the bathroom, and it took longer than I thought. I'm back now, though.
Okay, we're back just in time. So
nice.
Great.
What are we doing? Can I fight somebody?
Maybe.
Yes, you can.
So I wanted to take this to a different, slightly different area. Talking about when we actually take action against a company, right? So people were talking about, I had brought up like, yo, we'll shop locally, right? And people said, well, what if the boss of that local store is an asshole, right? Mm-hmm. Like, then what do you do? So what I was thinking though, is that what level do you think consumers should take action?
Kick his ass.
At Activision Blizzard, for instance, right? There's this, well, Activision Blizzard, they've done a lot of things, but let's take one thing in isolation because Bobby Kotick, you mean? They've done lots of things, but Bobby Kotick is now being accused of rampant sexual harassment and intimidation of employees, but he was a sociopath from the fucking start, though, Bobby Kotick, so that's not surprising. But let's say that was the only thing that was happening, right? Is that worth consumer action? Like, at what level, like, does it matter to you that the head of a company that you may patronize on a regular basis, that the boss has maybe even sexually assaulted someone, right? And then the board is protecting them. So in case of Bobby Kotick, I'm not sure if he assaulted anyone, but he at least has been harassing someone. And the board, like, they had just like had a zero policy tolerance for this stuff, right? I believe it was like the day before they released a zero policy tolerance like guideline, and then the next day Bobby Kotick was accused of this, and like, except for him, except for the head of the company, right? So do you think that matters? Or does it have to be something more serious to you before you actually, before any action needs to be taken? Go ahead, Chris.
It's kind of hard, right? For me, of course, I'd like say like people should stop their subscriptions to WoW. They should stop playing Warzone, right? They should like just like to like send a message to the company, but at the same time, you're going to be hurting the same employees that they were like terrorizing, right? It's the ones putting in the work to like make these games possible and keep them running, right? That you're probably going to be hurting the most because these companies are going to like push all the not the blame, but like the hard work off onto them, right? They're going to be the CEO Bobby, he's
Bobby
probably going to
Kotick.
get
Bobby
yeah,
Kotick.
Bobby Kotick. He should be let go. He should be kicked out. I realize it's going to be a hard task to do because like the board is just like, even though they are like to speak out against him, they won't release him. And if they do, they're going to like give him a golden parachute like that he can float away on. And probably like never have to work again. His kids won't ever have to work again ever in their lifetime, right? So it's a weird like place to be as consumers, right? You love this product, right? The main people you're like you're supporting when it comes to this product is the people who spend the most time like making sure the game is running, things like that. And some of those people are the people that were victimized in the situation. I don't know, like if you spend like a lot of your life playing WoW, who am I to tell you that you should give all that up and just abandon the game, right? Even though I think you should morally. There's a lot that goes into it that makes it very complicated on the consumer side.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I kind of think this situation, as you described, as I would like to put it, kind of like puts the consumer in like a weird, interesting catch-22 if they are concerned about it. It's easy for someone like me because I've never personally been attached to Blizzard to like say, yeah, fuck Blizzard, you know, all of that shit. But I can't really like be in that state of mind as somebody who cares about WoW. I think, though, sometimes, and at least, like, with all of the news that's come out about Bobby Kotick and Activision Blizzard and the actions and, I guess, like, all of the news around the surrounding companies they own, like Treyarch abuses, and it's, like, alleged that all the other Call of Duty studios specifically abuse, like, playtesters and shit, like the devs do. So it seems like this toxic culture is probably being reinforced all around anything Activision Blizzard has ownership over, just because the leadership seems to be having that kind of issue. And I think consumers could be convinced more, especially in my opinion, with as rampant abuses like this, to acknowledge the risk and even accept that some of the people that were victims are gonna be hurt, because I don't see these businesses willfully like gutting their entire staff or making actual meaningful change until they are actually like hurt profits wise.
Well, yeah, it always just gets swept under the fucking rug. That's what happened with Ubisoft, right? Like there was all the shit about abuse at Ubisoft, and then they were just like, well, we'll just not talk about it for a little while. And I think, like, honestly, I would say this is a huge fucking problem with, like, I'm gonna say the meme. Ethics in games journalism. Let's go. All right, where it's a huge problem with like games journalists, where they want to just focus on the games and forget about everything else, and just push whatever product that quite honestly often they're being paid to push, right? We need good independent journalists that are like putting this news out to the gaming community and actually getting people riled up and caring about it, because they just don't. Like, it's inconvenient for journalists, like games journalists, because they get their first copies from the company. They get to write the reviews first, right? They want to have a good working relationship with those companies, and so they don't want to be critical of them, and they will help them with whatever fucking PR frenzy happens around abuse, and that just needs to like not be the fucking case.
I think
thank God for James Sterling. All right.
Yeah, exactly. James Stephanie Sterling. Yeah. Thank you. They have been on the subject. Absolutely. But I actually don't want to get too far into this. I think this could be a separate topic specifically. I only brought them up because they were on my mind, but we can use literally anything else. I want to focus in on what I was saying. Okay, so like you brought up how Chris, excuse me, you brought up how like WoW, like, oh well, who am I to tell someone who's invested in WoW that they shouldn't be supporting this? All right, so I'm going to escalate this, right? I'm going to bring it up to the quote unquote absurd, right? But we'll see. Like, at what point do you think it actually matters? All right, let's say that you were part of an organization, a super old organization, right? One that's been around, for a long time. It's pretty invested in people's lives. And it turned out that you were the biggest child sex ring in the world, right? Just, I know this is imaginary, not a thing that happened in real life, but
you have a bit of an Epstein moment.
But
is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the Catholic Church. But like, yeah. So you have like the you have something like that's that large and that big, right? That has been hiding predators forever, right? Now we're gonna move it out of religion because religion adds another variable to this, right? But let's move it out for a second. Let's say it was some company that you regularly use, right? And that had access to children, right? That had front-facing stores, that had access to children, and that somehow they had been abusing them, and then like moving their store managers around, right? At that point, should some actions be taken, right? Let's say it was Blizzard. Blizzard did not do that. Don't sue me, right? But let's say somehow Blizzard did that, right? Like, do you give up your fucking WoW game, or do you continue on? Like, well, I mean, they're invested. Like, at what point does it become ridiculous?
Yeah, me personally, I'd say like no fucking way. Like, this is like insane. And I'd tell other people who are like invested in this, like, you should get out. Like, this is something you morally shouldn't be doing, right? It just like depends on even though I feel that way, I don't. When it comes to that like extreme, there's no excuse. I was
think
gonna
it's like that extreme, like we'd all say yes, but like
this goes into the whole
government
government
we all
thing.
agree though, like you treat these instances of like abuse against people or actions against people a lot differently, like especially when it's against children. So like, you know, and I think that like the fact that it's like crimes against children in particular is what like actually ramps it up, you know, because like if we say like, oh, someone got hit, and then you say, oh, someone hit a child, you know, like we obviously it's the same act, but obviously one has like we put a lot more weight on the fucking like crime against a child.
I don't know because like
Rape.
like,
If there's rape or sexual assault happening within a company, I want people to go to jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Blizzard's already there, right? I mean, like a lot of shit has happened. Like someone's died. People, someone actually did die. There's lawsuits. The alleged Bobby Kotick thing that happened a week ago was about somebody literally being told that they were gonna be assassinated. Essentially, that Bobby Kotick was gonna hire somebody. So, like, you could argue that Blizzard's already at that point. Like,
Someone should go to jail. Probably there should be a federal investigation.
yeah. I mean, it's a good time actually. I just joined because I played pro Overwatch for like 4 years. So my job was tied literally to playing a Blizzard game. I fucking hate that company, but like I wouldn't recommend for any of my old friends that still play to just like give up your livelihood because a company is like bad, you know? Like yeah, like I couldn't tell them like to just stop your livelihood that makes you money and pays your bills so you can just like make a stand for a boycott. I feel like you need a lot more than that.
But hold on. That's a different thing. So that's a different dynamic you just brought in, right? Saying like you're effectively an employee, right? That's something else, right? And that's not what Chris mentioned, right? He talked unless maybe there's no professional WoW players, I don't think. Unless I'm mistaken. But
unless you on streamers, but yeah.
Okay, unless you're talking about streamers, fair enough. But like I mean,
I've played WoW for 9 years, but like that's not anywhere close to what Ajax did with Overwatch. So
Yeah, so exactly. So I'm talking about people who are just enjoying it, like buying Call of Duty, right? You can have the option. I mean, you have a stack of Call of Duties in your fucking house, right? A stack of different titles. Maybe you're like, I won't buy the next one. All right, maybe not the next. You're not even being deprived of Call of Duty. In fact, you're still costing them more money by using their servers to play Call of Duty. So you can still play Call of Duty, but maybe not buy the next Call of Duty.
Yeah, I uninstalled like the latest one. I'm not buying Vanguard. It looks trash anyway. But like but like once that story came out, like I haven't played a Activision Blizzard game since, and I've uninstalled them all. And that's just me on the consumer side. Like it's just like it was too much. Like the information piled on. Even outside of Bobby Kotick, like there's so much that you just like you really cannot ignore, like that's going on. And if you like really are against these things, like you should. But that's me because like I'm like I'm that type of person, right? I'm in these political spaces. I think about this stuff, right? For a normal consumer, right? Just an everyday normal consumer who doesn't really think about those things. Yeah, they'll see some things bad going on in the company. They see some things bad going on in a lot of companies they consume from, right? So it like they might not think of it the same way. They might not process the same way. So they might just continue and not really care because they're like, well, this company's done some bad shit. Well, so is the other like hundreds of companies like I purchased from, right? How's this any different?
Yeah. One of the. Oh, sorry. Did you want to? I just wanted to say. Oh.
I just want to say that, like, yeah, like, because I really want to use this as a separate topic some other time, this Activision Blizzard thing, right? I want to focus more on, like, the concept of, it's my fault, because I brought them up again. I said don't do it, then I brought up again, my fault. But, like, the focus on, like, the topic itself, right? Like, at what point is it too much? Is it sex crimes? Is that what it is? Right? Is it sex crimes specifically against children? That's a point where someone should take action. Or is it like abusing your workers, right? Is it stealing their wages, right? Like for instance, like a diner, right? A diner, this happens all the time in like food industry, right? They steal tips, right? This is a big thing. And it's oftentimes the people who are just like otherwise too poor. Like you could take them to court, right? That's remedy. You could take them to court. But then these people who are working for tips oftentimes don't have the money to actually do that, and so they just kind of get away with it. So if the employees are raising awareness about this, it's like, look, we gotta boycott this, right? And there's gonna be a work stoppage and all that. Is that enough for you to not do it? To like avoid this diner? Like what is your limit here?
I think part of the thing is though, like the question of that, like it's an individualistic question where everyone, you know, there's so many factors within that, you know, like I don't know. So I think it may be not equivalent, but you know, it's kind of like saying like how many black people need to get killed by the cops for someone to finally be like, hey, BLM, you know, to finally get on board with the BLM movement, you know, like that degree of like how many instances have to occur is subjective to everybody. And I think like, and then like when we talk about specific instances of even just like in the more minutia of like what we may deem as lesser crimes, like unfortunately that's usually like of various worker abuses from like a psychological or mental nature. Like it's very like that's where we're even more flip-floppy on, you know, where we may condemn fucking Riot Games for how they fucking manipulate their employees to like these asinine degrees, or even like who is it, Gearbox that makes Borderlands, by how they treat their employees. But with the fucking frat culture shit, you know, like we making them a little bit, but like if their conduct may be potentially even worse than Blizzard's, but we still go after Blizzard because of this particular aspects or prior history that Blizzard has, you know. And so it's like, it seems like if you're trying to find an answer to that question of where we draw the line, that's very much, you're probably not going to get a specific answer that you're wanting.
Let me ask it then though. Let's see what people do. Like, yeah. Everyone else, like, and Jess, you had something to say. But like, where is this line for you?
For me, I think this line really depends. I'm coming from a lower-ish income, perspective, but I guess like if when it's a gaming company, like the one that you mentioned, we're not gonna go into specifics about it, but like while the abuses are great, it's like a gaming company. So for me, I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't need to support Blizzard. There's like hundreds of other games I could go pay money to if I really wanted to. There's free games, you know, there's other stuff to be doing. So it's very easy for me to like advocate for that. And I think, especially, you know, with this limit of like the kinds of abuses that are alleged. But like if we took the same abuses, but it was like one of the important food companies all the way, and it went all the way to the top, I don't know if I could reasonably justify like telling people to boycott that food company, because like I don't even know, one, if it's going to be successful, two, if it's going to make that much change, or like if it's like a good idea to tell people, oh, don't go buy this cheap food, you know, especially if they can't, you know. I don't know how that's going to work. So
is there never a level of outrage for is there never a level of outrage like for like a certain level of for a crime, right? Like I don't know. Maybe this is just me. Maybe other people don't feel the same way that I feel like. And again, I know that not every person can be involved in reaction. I've been saying that, but like at some point, I feel like there must be a limit, right? Like
I'm not gonna lie.
The majority of people would agree. Yeah, it'd probably be like if a company's endorsing fucking child diddling, you know, then yeah, that'd probably be a time when the majority of people would agree. Yeah, that's bad. You know, or like
yeah, but not when
like outright blatant like physical assault or abuse of employees. That I don't know. I can see some assholes trying to be make apologetics for it, but like I think that could ultimately be condemned.
People are
real quick,
that.
everybody.
I'm
peacing out. I'm peacing out. First off, like ban Wiggle. It should have been done a long time ago. Like he was demodded. That was a good move. Now he's remodded. Not so much of a good move. I've been advocating for this. We need to form a boycott. I need everybody just to vacate chat. Like, Wiggle should not be around. Look, do boycotts work or not? Look at Prime. Look at his smile. Look at this. Look, let's prove to him the boycotts work. Besides that, everybody, I'll be back around. I'm not as busy as I used to be, so you'll catch me on the Black panels, a few more opens, and other than that, have a great night.
Be more seriously, dude. Like I'm so happy to have you around. I love that you're always disagreeing with me and giving me a good fight. Be more. I'm really happy you're back, and I'm glad you're safe. So yeah, we'd love to have you back on the panels.
First of all, I was always safe. The Afghani migrants they're amazing. They're fun. I wish like everybody got the chance to meet them. Like they're so happy to be here. They're far more patriotic than we are. It's absolutely hilarious. But anyway, good night.
Good night, buddy. All right. Go ahead, Viv.
I'm just super fucking blackpilled on the idea that like most people are going to give a shit about most of these issues. They can't be bothered. They're like living their daily lives. They want to be able to get the products they need, and they want to like go about their fucking business, right? And honestly, like the laughable idea of thinking that you can get the majority of the gaming community to give a fuck about misogyny, and I just want to fucking like chuck that one out there in regards to Blizzard. But like, I don't know. I don't give a fuck about like getting like shitloads of people together to like do a boycott. I don't think it works except in the most extreme of cases. What I do think that boycotts can do is that they can bring attention to an issue, which means that it has to be reported in the fucking national press, right? You might actually even end up increasing their products, like their revenue through that action. But at the very least, you're like getting the word out, and there can be like widespread disapproval and stuff. And maybe somewhere later on down the line, you get some kind of legislation, or you manage to form some kind of pressure group or something, right? But in the case of like, multinational fucking conglomerates, like huge ass fucking companies like Amazon or Blizzard, like I don't think there is much power on the side of the consumer in regards to being able to like stop them doing stuff. What stops people playing video games is when they get shit. That's why WoW's starting to lose money, is because everybody's fucking bored of it. right? It's got nothing to do with the fucking rampant misogyny in the workplace. And Amazon, you got fucking workers pissing in bottles and all kinds of shit. Nobody's fucking boycotting Amazon. Nobody's trying to. People just want to go about their lives and do shit. And most of them, when you go, are like, there's like child slaves in Africa or whatever. They're like, that's so fucking removed from them. They don't give a shit. And that's me being super fucking doomer about it, right? I think you need, like I said earlier, you need good journalists, you need good activists, and you need to work out how to fucking place pressure as a minority rather than having this fantasy that you're going to somehow bring the majority against them.
It's never about the size of the boycott that matters. It's how loud it is.
Mm.
You could have a boycott of 100 people, but if it's loud as fuck and gets a ton of media attention, it's infinitely more powerful. Because what happens is, like, especially like I'm gonna use the Blizzard thing as an example, but only for like the stocks. Like, it was really loud when the Bobby Kotick stuff dropped, so the stock went down, and that's when people were like, oh, they might actually care now. And it's only because it was loud on the media and the stock dropped that people actually thought that something might happen. So it only comes back to, like, how loud is it on the media, and like Vivian said, it's about like the journalists and people reporting on it, and if the board of directors is going to give a fuck because now it's on the news and now they might actually fire the CEO they have.
Okay, never mind. Everyone wants to talk about Activision, so it's fine. It's like, everyone wants to talk about Activision. It's okay. Whatever. I don't care. Drippy, I'm not sure if you had your hand up, Drippy. I wasn't sure. Did you have your hand up, buddy?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay, just
I
wanted to
don't
make
really
sure.
have much nuance to add to these takes, to be honest.
Okay. But yeah. I mean, like, I'm. I guess I'm getting more black pill now. The more I'm talking to you all, right? I actually was a lot more hopeful before I talked to any of you. Like, and Vivian, I think just did a really good job. She did a mic drop there, on that. Yeah, like, look, I think again, my objection before on the child slavery thing is I think most people literally don't know that Nestle is using child slaves to make its chocolate. In case you didn't know, in the back, Nestle is using child slaves. Great, so enjoy that. Anyway, but most people don't know, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, you tell them that, but then, like, guess what? In like 3 or 4 days, I'll pull the chat here. Half these motherfuckers aren't even gonna remember that shit, and I think that's like, it kind of goes further into.
I think it's a problem with the memory issue. I think it's a little different. I think child slavery, I think it will stick in their heads. Maybe.
Like, it's something that is far removed from their daily lives. Like they're resonating to the chocolate that they have in their hand that they're physically seeing, not resonating with what's going on, not even like on their own continent. You know, on the other on the almost the other side of the world.
You can say that about anything, though. I feel like there's we're oh my god. I feel like we're not putting responsibility in our hands as consumers who have purchasing power. Like, we
It is
buy
in our hands.
things.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you that it is in our hands. I just don't agree with you that there's any way to mobilize a huge portion of the populace against it, because they don't give a shit. Like, it's not that they don't have the responsibility, it's that they don't care they have that responsibility.
Yeah.
That's true, but you can still minimize harm. Like, I still go out of my way to not purchase products that I feel like a company's dog shit about, because I feel like I can minimize the harm done.
I mean, if you care, right? There was a old Patrice O'Neill bit about him like watching the news and being like, I'm really gonna give a shit about this. You know, this person who's been kidnapped at like 5 states over, right? And like I'm trying to give a shit, and I'm trying to give a shit, and you think like, oh no, like I really don't give a shit, right? A lot of people, right, when it comes to things that are really detached from them, right, they can act like they care. They can like sort of give the face that they do, but deep down, really on the day-to-day life, right, they could like literally care less, right?
Well, and I think it's like, even if you're mentally aware of it, again, like it sounds like, oh, you're just making excuses for it, but like even if you're mentally aware of it and try to do it, it's fucking difficult to. Like, I think fucking Killer Mike literally had a series about how, like, there's like one episode Killer Mike did. He's part of Run the Jewels if you don't know him. but where he was specifically trying to spend like just the day go shopping at exclusively Black-owned businesses, and he was driving around all over the fucking place. And even then, he had to make concessions like, "Hey, okay, your Black business, that's great. Where do you get your stuff from? Oh, from a fucking white-owned farm." You know, like even then, you know, like going out and actively doing all this movement. Nevertheless, it was still operating within a system that he disagreed with.
You can actually relate this to like climate change stuff, where you wouldn't like you would never tell someone that just because them not throwing away a plastic bottle into the ocean is going to fix climate change. You would never tell them to go throw that plastic bottle in the water, because you're still actively committing a harm. You can take that harm into your own hands and make sure it doesn't happen, even if on a global scale you're not gonna be like, oh cool, I didn't solve climate change by not drinking this plastic water bottle and throwing it in the ocean.
Yeah, hold on. I like that you say that. And Ajax, thanks for coming through. I didn't greet you before, but thank you for being here. Okay, so if individual action doesn't matter at all, right? Like, would you say like it's fine to toss your trash into like the ocean or just anywhere in like in nature, right? If individual action doesn't matter at all because it's a problem is so big, then should we just like if you happen to be by the sea, right? It is certainly more convenient than walking like 5 feet to go to a public trash can, right? Why not just chuck it in there? Because individual action really doesn't matter, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It does matter.
No, other people. Yes, the people saying the entire time. People have been saying individual action doesn't matter. The entire time we've been here, people have been saying that.
Like on this panel has been saying like that affirmative of a stance. That like, hey, it doesn't matter what you.
I don't
like,
think individual action
has.
doesn't matter. It's just that how do you mobilize like so many individuals to not do this thing, right? Like my city has a huge thing with litter, right? I don't litter. Like I hate that, right? I actively try to pick up things around where I live, but like it's to a degree where so many people are doing it. How do I like affect all these people? Like how do I get them to not do this thing, right? How do I get people to stop throwing their fucking fast food trash out the window as they're driving?
And if you can't get people to care, though, let's say you can't, right? Because the problem is too big or whatever, right? And the problem of ocean pollution is way bigger than individual people, right? And so there's I can hold on to this plastic bottle, right? Or this plastic wrapper, right? I can hold on to this thing and put it in that garbage can. But as I'm walking, right? Tons of garbage is being tossed in the ocean, right? By the time I get there, several tons of plastic. But I walk that 5 feet, several tons of plastic has been put in the ocean. So why not, for convenience, toss it in the ocean myself? Just like, no, that's just one more. Right?
I wouldn't do that. Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, within this example, the real world scenarios that are happening is we just legalize against that ability. Like in Washington State, like we did have that plastic issue, and then like with single-use plastics, and then what do? We implemented a plastic bag tax on it effectively, you know. And so like what did that do? It's greatly reduced the amount of single-use plastic bag waste specifically. But nevertheless, though, it kind of gets to the point that B-More and Chris and I had talked about was like this was change that ultimately had occurred as a result of the government legislative action, though.
So individual action. So again, I'm agreeing with you. Great. Government action. We'll go to Japan next. But government action did it, not individual action, right? So, if I happen to have a plastic thing, I toss it away and throw it into the ocean, right? Walking on the boardwalk, chuck it. Let's see what Drippy has to say.
Yeah, I actually love what Smog brought up earlier because trying to circle back to my point earlier, the consumer can only feel so much. Like we only have so much power as a consumer to change certain things that goes on when it comes to modern society and how shit goes down in these companies. And the problem is we don't really have any other incentive to go move on towards boycotting these companies. So I love it how Smug brought up that we need to change things on a legislative level. You know, if we start to, you know, things like the paper bag, the plastic bag tax, where, you know, it did have an effect on people not really wanting to get as much plastic bags and getting more paper bags. I'm sorry if I'm not making sense. Please let me know.
No, you're making sense.
No.
No, you're good. Yeah. I'm sorry, I was busy typing something. That's why I didn't react. So, but, yeah. But I want more of an answer to what I said. Jess, is your hand up?
Yeah. So, what did you say to remind me? Because I was going to respond to what Smug said, or Chris can talk if you have a direct response to Prime or something. I don't know what you're.
Okay, I'll just remind you what I said. We were talking about with the individual action.
You were talking about individual action
for the ocean.
I would say, like, to an extent, I do think individual action matters. Maybe this isn't what you want, because I feel like a lot of other people have said this, but like I personally do not. I don't litter. I don't like throw trash in like creeks or the ocean or just like, all willy nilly. I don't like buy a bunch of water bottles. I just have one, and then there's a water purification thing I just get water from. So I try to be more mindful, and I kind of like don't really do that stuff. But I don't know like how you can incentivize it without getting some legislative action done. Like I'm also in Washington, and I know about the plastic bag thing. The only complaint I would have about that thing in Washington is one of the things that like it seems to piss off everybody. It seems to become a talking point now, and is actually true, is the entire state gets all of that profit from the plastic bag tax instead of like some of it going to the local business that does it. So it doesn't seem like they can have some way of making some money off those bags as well. That's.
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd be kind of mixed about that. But that'd be a separate talk. Yeah, like I don't know. Sometimes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I think I had to agree and kind of disagree with that. But we can talk about that later.
I think I understand that though, because okay, so a plastic bag though is not polluting just that business. Let's say you buy the plastic bag, or let's say you didn't have to buy the plastic bag, right? Like that worker gave it to you for free because they were in a good mood. You dispose of that improperly. That's not only affecting that business. That plastic bag is going to affect the community, which is the state. So I don't know. I agree with the tax going to the state. I don't see the problem there.
Well, I guess like from how it's occurred here, like in regards to the allocations of funds, if I read the legislation correctly, those funds are earmarked to go into various infrastructure projects. So like our bridges are still be fucked up on both sides of the mountains, and so from my understanding, like a lot of the almost exclusively those funds that we're getting from the bag taxes are going there. But like I think you agree though with my whole original claim though in regards to that though, is that it is a piece of government legislative action that has effectively reduced that, right?
Yeah, I would agree, and I would think it's done a lot more, at least from the rural community I'm in. I'm also in a shithole desert in Washington. So it's yeah. So it's one of the things that I'm kind of noticing is a lot of these local businesses are selling these like harder plastic bags, these ones that seem like they're having more survivability, and it's encouraging more people, at least like from where I am and from my perspective, to actually like keep these bags and reuse them so they're not like spending them. And I think that also is like some meaningful change that was caused like through this legislation that like could stick and like possibly just keep our use of like plastic bags low,
and I think the thing is like to that point of like the individual level, Well, like that's the thing. And again, no one is condemning the individual person who says, "Hey, I as an individual choose to go ahead and do this," you know. And if they do it, that's great.
No one said. No one was saying condemning. No one said anyone said condemned. People were saying that it's not useful. It's like so. The whole the opposite parallel I'm drawing here is really simple, right? You have a large issue, a large problem, larger than any individual person, but and your individual choices, it can only possibly make a small dent, right? So is it worth it to ever bother? Since it's true for the environment as it is for corporations, right? It would take a large amount of people to make a difference in that, right? Like now, government actions can do it, but I'm not the government, right? And that right now, it is more convenient, using all the same language you guys use, it is more convenient for me to take the easy route, right? So rather than consuming, I'm just tossing it away. This is a simple parallel, right? And if you think individual action makes difference in the environment, then I don't know why it doesn't in the other place. And before I'll go to Ajax, I think you had your hand up. And for anyone else, guys, to make it simple, see, Chris, put your hand up again. See, Chris, be a model right there. See, I had to teach Chris like alpha palms, all right? Palms up to the camera, so I know that you're doing this like half thing. That doesn't work, right? The finger, I don't know. Alpha palms, but Ajax, go ahead.
No.
Yes. So the reason it's important because the reason why I brought up the environment earlier is because I saw the parallel, and I live in Florida. I love this state. Okay, Florida's a meme, but the environment's really, really important to me down here in Florida. And I go to Key West and I go out to our beaches all the time. I love the environment here in Florida, and I see all the time the negative impacts of plastic and other terrible things that we just toss in our environment. For the best example I can give is just a classic plastic bag can literally destroy a turtle shell. Like a young turtle that's developing can grab on a turtle shell when it's going, it'll literally grow around and to the point where the turtle shell won't be able to take the bend anymore. It'll crack, and turtles can't regrow their shells. They're just done. They're dead at that point.
Wow.
So it's really, really sad. We have a turtle hospital down in Key West that anyone can go visit, and they can see all the examples of all these turtles that have cracked shells that are permanently stuck in rehabilitation. They can never go back in the wild. And just as simple as one plastic bag can destroy a turtle. And we have a lot of endangered species down here that are dying. So just one bag can make a big difference. So you can do a lot as an individual, but you can't fix the problem as an individual. So it's important that you do things on an individual level to make a small action, but also advocate for the legislative stuff that we were talking about earlier. So if you're doing both at the same time, you're making a huge positive impact. It's not one or the other. You have to do both.
Chris?
Oh yeah, and now more fully understanding the parallel you were making. Yeah, I did make the convenience argument when it came to Amazon, right? Buying my packages and things like that. So why wouldn't I apply the same thing when it comes to like the environment, right? It'd be more convenient just to toss my stuff to the side rather than like waiting to get to the trash can or something like that. I get that. For some reason I don't apply the same logic to that. Like I see the issue of the environment and I take that more to heart more than I do when it comes to Amazon and when it comes to these workers and the issues that they're dealing with. I don't know why that is, right? I guess that because I was just like raised that way. They like when growing up, right? You see all these things about recycling and things like that and taking care of the environment. That's always been a huge issue for me, right? Like because I grew up in the time where like this global warming, climate change things is like starting to be talked about. So it's just been in my head, like pushed into my head over and over again, to where like this is something I'm really conscious about. The shopping from Amazon and the convenience of that, right? The use of their products is something relatively newer for me, right? That helps me in my like adult life more than like a lot of things, right? And I have to really more consciously think about that and like really try to apply the same ethics as much as I can, right? I'm not going to be perfect with it, and nobody else is, but I think that does make me think about it more, right? If I care about these other issues and I apply a lot of effort to make sure I'm doing good individually, towards these issues, maybe I should apply that same logic to this whole Amazon situation and do better with that.
Let's go to Jay. I also want to hear from Vivian because Vivian was said, you know, kind of destroyed my faith in humanity the most eloquently here. So I want to hear what she has to say on this particular issue, and we'll also want to hear what Spectre has to say. But Jay, please.
Yeah, I just had a quick follow up for you, Chris. So, are you saying that your gratification of, I'll say instant gratification as a turn of phrase, just for simplicity, is more important when it comes to the things that you want, and the things that you want rather than the things that you care about? Because it sounded like you care about the environment, but not necessarily how that affects how you get the things that you want, right? Like you're prioritizing your wants over the environment. Is that correct?
Yes. And that, like, yeah, that line of questioning kind of made me realize that. Like, I don't think about it to that extent. Like, how much do I order from Amazon? How much does that go towards transportation? How much does that go towards protecting the environment? Like, how much do I, like, all the things that I have, like, packaged in plastic wrap, right? That I throw out or whatever, right? There would be times where my room is filled with boxes of things that I just ordered from Amazon, right? And they'll pile up, and I have to spend the day, like, throwing out all the packaging and wrap that I had from the things that I purchased. And I'm really bad at consumerism things, right? I grew up really really poor, so like when it came to getting things, like it'd be few and far between before I can get something, right? Like it's just something that I grew up with. So when I got older and I was able to afford more things, or I had opportunities to get more things, right? I have this feeling that it's really fleeting, and like if I don't get it, I feel like I have this feeling in my gut, like if I don't get it now, I'm not going to be able to get it, right? Because that's how I grew up, right? If I don't do this thing now, or if this opportunity passes, right, then it's something subconsciously where I'm just like I won't get it, because that would happen when I was younger, right? There'd be opportunities in school for doing these things with organizations that if I had the money, like to go to, like, visit Washington D.C. or something on a school trip, and like I couldn't afford the $1,000 it took to like go on that trip, because I'd pay for hotel and things like that. It not saying I don't know. It just affects my mind state now when it comes to purchasing things.
Yeah, no, and I don't think that you're saying that like going on a school trip and learning about the history of America and Washington D.C. is the same as like getting a graphics card from
Right.
Amazon. Not that that's something that you can do, but I'm just being hyperbolous. Not that you're saying that those are the same thing, but I feel like your argument is still, to me, that's a behavior that can be changed. That's a behavior that you grew, that you ramped up to, right? Because at one point you weren't able to access all of these things, but now that you can access all of these things, it's like, okay, I need to buy it now. I need it now. Like, I need it from this one source, rather than like taking that extra step to find it somewhere else that isn't Amazon, like finding the alternative. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, even with Amazon, I'm like, even with as quick as shipping as they have, like I'm still sitting at my window, like, where the fuck is this driver, right?
No, I'm not talking about shipping necessarily. I'm talking about like just like buying from Amazon in general. Because if the argument that we're saying is like at what point, like to Prime's question, like which point is
I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is, even like I'm just, like, it can be so obsessive at some points that even Amazon, which they are bad, and I can choose someone else, right? Even then, their service isn't even good enough for me sometimes, right? There's this
then why
thing,
not go to some place that you like feel good buying from?
because it's not about feeling good buying from. It's about feeling good about how quickly it can get to me, right? That's what I'm saying, right? And I know that's wrong, and I should think more about that. It's just like like you said, the instant gratification of like this thing that I want, I order it and it gets to me right now, right? I don't have to travel outside state lines to get it, right? This company will package it up, send it out to me in a day or two, and I get my hands on it, and like I know it's here and it's ready to go.
Let's go to Vivian. I want to hear from Vivian. Spectre, Jesse, do you have your hand up? We'll go to you afterwards.
Okay.
Vivian?
Oh, you want to hear from me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff I get from Amazon. I'm literally eating right now a nice plate of Japanese curry.
I love Japanese curry. It's so good. Sorry.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could have probably made it from scratch.
How spicy is it though? That's the real question.
It's fairly spicy. It's making my nose run, but it's not like fucking so hot that it's like burning my face off.
Okay, sorry. I hate spice. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ. Whatever, I'll leave that to other people. So so I could have made it from scratch, but like I used curry blocks for this one because I'm fucking depressed at the moment and I couldn't be asked to put that much effort into it. So I ordered some curry blocks off of Amazon. Now, if I want to order Japanese curry blocks from like the local supermarket or whatever, all they have is that golden curry shit, which is fucking awful, okay? Everybody says, oh, use golden curry. That's what they all use. No, it's fucking not, okay? It tastes like shit. It's fucking terrible. The texture is all grainy and rough and it's just nasty, okay? Java, really good curry blocks, okay? You want a slightly more gelatinous curry. But I gotta get that from fucking Amazon, right? Along with a whole load of other like specialty ingredients that I use for cooking because I just like I enjoy cooking and I like cooking wild foods. Just like literally impossible for me to source. And if I didn't have Amazon, there are other places that I could go, right? But they're like these specialty online Asian marts and they charge you like 3-4 times as much. And I'm poor as shit. I can't fucking afford that, right? Amazon and going on Japanese Amazon. Good fucking idea, by the way, people. Okay, different products. Go to the country of origin, go to their Amazon, and then see what they will ship to the UK. That's usually a good way to do things. But like, it is there for a lot of things that I enjoy in my life. There is no alternative to Amazon for me.
Sure.
They basically have a monopoly on my business.
That's not the question though, right? So I want to hear what, in terms of individual action, and the importance of individual action, should you toss trash into the ocean, even though because it's convenient?
I was just responding to Chris, but no, you shouldn't throw trash into the ocean. I think that's a really different. I don't think that's analogous at all.
Why is it different? Now, let's say you had choices, okay? So if you don't have choices, that's one thing, right? If you had no choice to somehow dispose of your items in the water, right?
Oh, then you should throw it into the ocean because, like, you have no choice.
Yes, exactly. But you do have a choice, right? You do have a choice for this, and let's say you do have a choice for where to shop. If you have choices, like most people do, as to where to throw away their garbage, right? Why even bother if the ocean is the most convenient option? Because it doesn't make that much of a difference any which way, right? It makes very little difference. There's be tons of garbage going to be put in the ocean any which way.
Well, I think it makes a difference to your local area. If everybody in your local area is dumping shit in the sea and not going to be going swimming there in the summers.
If everyone's your local area is shopping locally, again, if you have an option, obviously, but if you have the option of shopping locally, if everyone did that, well, then those stores would be popular, they would be strong, you'd have a better economy overall, right? So
the only reason people don't dump shitloads of stuff in the ocean is because we regulate against it. I recognize these are things that people shouldn't do, but I also think it's unreasonable to expect that they're not going to do it. We need some way of either deterring people or convincing them that they can't do it, right? Which requires either a penalty or a big fucking carrot, right?
So you're talking about government action, right? But there is no cop around me, right? There's no one who's gonna catch me. I have the option. There is a trash can ahead of me. I'll use meters for you, right? 3 meters away, okay? 3 meters in front of me, there's a trash can. I'm on the boardwalk, and so the ocean is right next to me, right? I can just simply reach over and toss my trash into the ocean because it's more convenient. Why not do that? No one's gonna catch me.
Yeah, I literally just said it wouldn't be a particularly moral decision, but I'm saying that doesn't matter. Like I said to sorry, is it Jay Cook? I think it might have been earlier, who was like, we all fucking broadly agree on the morality/immorality of like shopping at Amazon or whatever. The problem is getting people to give enough of a shit that they're willing to put themselves out to do something about it. And I'm totally fucking blackpilled on that. Now, I think it would be a much more interesting conversation because we all broadly agree. Maybe you have a suggestion, Prime, as to how we can get people to give more of a fuck, because I'm lost.
I'm not sure we all perfectly agree, and it's specifically on the point of convenience. But okay, thanks for that, Deb. Let's go to.
Well, that's a good question though. Like, I mean, like literally, like the biggest quandary I think that like Chris, Viv, and I, like, not to just characterize you guys' arguments as mine, is the issue of that collectivity step of like what would be like your proposed method to like finally like inspire, I say inspire, but like, you know, to get people to actually participate in it, or are we really just gonna go, okay, I'm just gonna by myself individually just go one person, convince them, hey, don't litter, another. Just hypothetically,
the point isn't the collective. We already agree on the collective action. We already agree that it should happen, right? I'm talking about the importance of individuals, though, right? Because we are individuals, and we don't get to collective things happening unless we get, individuals take a step themselves. So, as an individual, why not just throw everything in the ocean if it's more convenient? Like literally if it's more convenient for you to put your mattress in the ocean, why not? Because another mattress is going to end up in the ocean. There's lots of mattresses in the ocean, right? Lots of everything in the ocean. So
because there's a huge amount of social pressure to not do that, right?
No. Social pressure, no, that's what? So no. Like, I'm not saying why people don't. But why shouldn't you? Like, what is the reasons why you shouldn't, other than like?
Well, this is why I say we all broadly agree, because I think pretty much everybody in this channel would say, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that, right? Yeah. Is there anybody who disagrees with that statement?
No. I'm saying, but why should you not? Other than social pressure, if your argument on convenience, your argument in terms of corporation hangs on convenience, then if it's more convenient,
you're polluting the ocean, you're making it shit for other people.
Yeah, I know, but like, okay, but it's more convenient for me. Just like it's more convenient for me to use Amazon or whatever it is, that big box retailer, because it's simply more convenient for me.
I think you probably shouldn't use Amazon unless you have no other choices, right? But like I said, I don't think anybody here fucking disagrees, right? Does anybody disagree that you shouldn't use Amazon unless you, like morally, it's probably a bad thing to choose Amazon unless you have no other choices?
Does everyone agree that convenience is not important, right? So if you had that, so let's say like with the the thing that we're talking about in terms of like you brought up Killer Mike. We like searching, right? Yeah. If you actually could find everything else, but like everything you needed, but you had to put some work into it, right? Like, should convenience, and it's the same price, right? But it's just harder for you to do it rather than just going to Amazon. You should never use it? Would none of you ever use it for convenience sake?
I think that would be, so for the convenience sake, I'll bite the fucking bullet. I think it'd be the case by case on like on what we scale as being convenient, Like, for example, like you know, I would not fucking be persecute someone for the convenience for doing something if that alternate one would be like, for example, like someone's needing a product. We don't even have to be more specific, and the convenience of having it shipped to them, as opposed to the alternative of having to drive, like, hypothetically fucking hours away.
Not
from their
hours,
location.
not hours, right? Like we can narrow this down. We can narrow this down, right? If you're saying like multiple other states, like it's on like it's 2 states away. Okay, great, sure, all right. Then it's effectively impossible. But like we can narrow it down. I'm trying to like the options have to be viable, right? If the options aren't viable for most people, then it's effectively impossible, right? So we kind of narrow it down. So it's all in your local area, but it's going to take you time, same price, but it's going to take it time for it to get to you. You have to go to different areas, right? Maybe not all of them have an online storefront, right? So maybe you have to go outside. I know that part hurts me the most, right? But go outside, interact with people. All those things can happen, but you can get everything that you want, right? So it's just a matter of convenience.
If you have the time spare, you should probably do that. Yeah. Again, I don't think anybody
Yeah,
disagree.
like it's kind of like I'll use my own personal anecdote, for example. Like right now, I'm getting a fucking airsoft gun. You know, what I'm doing, like instead of going through Amazon, I'm actually going through one of my local airsoft stores. But the only reason why I'm able to do that is because I just recently moved to where they're only 20 minutes away, where before they'd be fucking 2 hours away. You know, it'd be a ridiculous drive just to get over there. You know, like if I was still back in my old location, I probably would go to Amazon because of that convenience.
I agree, yeah, but that's okay. Let's go Spectre. I've already covered it, but like, don't worry about it. Spectre.
No, again though.
Spectre. I hear you.
I can wait. It's fine. The smoke seems really like he's got something really important to say. So let him go.
All right.
No, again though, like because like, I feel like we keep hitting the same point over and over again because we keep going.
Because you're literally not even hearing me. Because I've literally covered that. Yes, if it's an unviable option, great. I've drawn the scenario. You're not even taking part of that scenario. Yes, it was 2 hours away, and for most people that would be possible if they even have a car, right? But like if it's in your local area and you can actually engage, I'm trying to narrow this down and get to the heart of the matter of what does convenience mean to you, right? So great, you got it, right? Spectre, then Jess, I think they had their hand up, and then Chris and Ajax.
Yeah, so for me, if it's not going to affect your life, like in an adverse way as far as finances are concerned, I think that you do have an ethical responsibility probably not to use Amazon. I think that you have an ethical responsibility to like consume, foods that don't have as much carbon, right? Could possibly make the same argument for going vegan, right? I don't do any of these things, despite the fact that I could. And that is a moral failing on my part, but yeah, I don't know. It's complicated. I don't know how much guilt we can actually assign to people who don't do this, despite the fact that they know they should. Obviously, the corporations are partially at fault, but they are producing with a desire to meet a demand that we as consumers are creating. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's complicated. I don't know where we assign the blame on the supply chain, as it were. But yeah, I'd say even though I don't do this in my day-to-day life, that you have a ethical responsibility to probably do all of those things.
Well, eating, vegan living lifestyle is a blight on humanity. So why would you engage in that? I don't get that.
Because the planet is
it's
gonna
a blight
burn
on humanity. I'm just kidding. Let's go to Jess, Chris, Ajax.
Maybe this is like a completely ridiculous way of looking at it. But maybe as an analogy, how much ethical responsibility does a drug addict have when they purchase drugs from a dealer?
It does provide the same dopamine hit, getting getting goods sometimes. So like it's still like training your lizard brain to have the feel good chemical every time that you put that Amazon order in and it shows up the next day.
Like a violent drug dealer or someone who has a supplier that is like violent. I guess maybe they're where you're going with that, or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter if they're violent or not.
And I would say also to a lot of lower income households, they're probably not getting a lot of this backlash news or like this worker news in their households. And for them, if they can save money and get it faster, they're gonna do that. You know, low income people, you know, aren't really gonna have super nice lives. Like they're gonna be probably annoyed. They're gonna be like most likely at work a lot or trying to find work or dealing with like a lot of their own issues, especially recently with like COVID. So I would say that like when it comes to like money, like because the reason I wouldn't throw my mattress in there is because like I'm not spending any of my money. That's just a bit of my time and effort to just pull that mattress a bit further, you know, or a lot further. I think you could argue that because like we live in God, I can't say that meme. I hate it, but
a society. Say it.
We live in a society, an economy. That's way better. Where like it just like when you're poor or even like middle income, you want to have more money to so you or your family or you know whatever's going on, you could enjoy it more and have an easier time or get access to just a little bit better of a thing. I think so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just don't know how much like ethical responsibility you can assign, especially when like I think another way is also like these options. This isn't like a gotcha or a defeat, but like you don't really know whether or not those businesses are any better. Like maybe they're more expensive, maybe they're actually cheaper, or maybe like they're cheaper because like they're kind of pushing their employees harder, even if it takes more time. You know, like there's like.
Yeah, we covered this in terms of like what if your local business is also a problem, and that's how we got here in the first place. But no, we covered that. But my point is not ethical responsibility. It's do individual actions matter? That's my point. Like, do they matter?
I really think like when it comes to how you're spending your money for like a majority of people and the majority of the situations they're in, I really don't think it does matter.
It's okay. So it also doesn't matter if you toss your trash in the ocean then.
Well, it would matter like to some extent because like you could without spending any money just pull that mattress further with some effort. Like it's not a ridiculous feat. Like that's something that you can do in a relatively short amount of time. I don't think anything's going to stop you.
And you can go out because now these are two choices I'm giving you. You can click that Amazon buy now button, or you could go 2 blocks, you can walk 2 blocks and go to your local shop and whatever and get that exact same item for the exact same price. So does individual actions matter here?
I guess I personally don't think so, because I think money is a bit more of an important resource, and I think like that person saving it could have a lot more.
No, it's the same price. Same price.
Same price. Oh, same price. Then I really wouldn't care personally. I don't know what that person could know about the business, right?
No. The business is a paragon. You've already investigated the business. It's a paragon, right? Like they're literally like giving like part of their profits go to an orphanage, right? Like they're a paragon. So you have the option. The option is there, but it's simply more convenient. Like you're on the web page. You see the item on Amazon. There's that buy now button, and get it, and you could have it at your door that day, right? So click that buy now button, or going over. Like do individual actions matter? I'm just focusing on this convenience aspect. Same price.
If everything was better,
Go ahead, Jess.
Okay, if everything was better, but like it just like the convenience aspect, right? Like it would take longer for that same thing, same price, all controlled, like better worker environment, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
But and just longer. Personally, I would think so. I just can't like.
Think so? Think so? What? What does that mean? Think so? What?
Like I would personally say, yeah, right. Like you should probably do that. Like, there's no reason I would see
Shop
that
locally.
you can't.
Shop locally.
But what if the thing that you wanted to buy or that person wanted to buy was something important? They needed it that next day. Like they're like, oh shoot, Amazon gives giving me a free Prime trial, and they could give me this phone charger like next day, so I can be charged for work because my freaking phone's not charged. I wouldn't say that's like that's happening a lot, but that is like a situation I've ran into. And that convenience could be quite helpful, especially for like lower income people. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't condemn it.
I know. That's why, but I'm not asking about like ethical. That's the thing. Okay, so just for everyone else, I'm not asking about the like ethical responsibility, right? I'm just wondering about like, do individual actions matter? Right, that's all I'm wondering, and that's why I'm trying to narrow it down and not put like a priority on it, right? Like just talking about the aspect of convenience, right? Like that's why like I designed it the way I did, for aspect of convenience.
Well, take away the morals, then no.
The
individual actions don't fucking matter.
Okay.
If you're just one person doing the thing, it won't make any fucking difference whatsoever.
So you should toss that trash in the ocean, correct?
I mean, obviously it depends on like how big the thing is, right? Like
What difference does it make? There's multiple tons of trash that gets tossed all the time. Like as we're talking, multiple tons of trash are ending up in the ocean right now. So what difference does it make if my thing is large? It's small compared to everything else.
Okay, one person chucking trash in the ocean probably doesn't, on a grand scale, matter at all. Doesn't fucking do anything. Like the difference it makes is so minuscule as to not make any fucking difference whatsoever.
So we should do it.
No.
Why not? I don't.
You're the wait. Sorry, you're the one who said we're not going to we're going to take morals out of it, right? And we're going to just say how much effect does it have, right? On an individual level, it doesn't have much effect at all. Infinitesimally small amount of effect. However, as a collective, which is something you also barred from the conversation, as a collective, right? Obviously, it does have a bigger effect. Right?
I didn't bar anything conversation. I'm just trying to talk. No, don't give me that, Vivian. Right? You've done this exact same thing on this exact same fucking panel, talking about like narrowing a hypothetical to get to a point, right? And then you've been frustrated, just as I've been frustrated, and people aren't working within that hypothetical, so that you can get to the point. Oh, I've already did. You haven't been listening. All right, moving on. Chris, Ajax, and then finally Jay.
Individual consumerism. I think it definitely does matter. And like even on the smaller scale of you, right? If I'm like omniscient, right, and I'm everyone, right? I have like so say there's a micro center. This is a big issue. Like when it comes to buying PC parts, right? I'd much rather buy from a micro center. The only thing is, there's one in my town, and it's like 2 hours away. If I myself, right, took the time to just every time I wanted to buy PC parts, go ahead and buy it from micro center. Everyone else, right, took that time and did that thing, there would be more micro centers popping up. It would be much more convenient for me to like shop at micro center other than Amazon, and to like create a situation to where like Amazon is like actually less convenient than a micro center to go shop at. The issue is like these big companies strong arm us in a way where it doesn't make it impossible, right? But it as a consumer, it makes you feel like it's almost impossible, and it not holding a gun up to your head, right? They're just like it's almost coercive in a way, I think, right? Like is like you're coerced into buying from them, other than like driving out that way to a micro center, so possibly not being able to find the actual item that you actually want, right? Even though it might be there, right? You just don't know. You might drive that 2 hours and be like, you get there, the thing you want is not there. You end up having to settle for a lesser CPU or GPU, and you just feel like, well, fuck, I just wasted my time. Or like I feel like I have to, I can't. If I don't buy something here, I'll just waste all the time. Like gas coming out here, and it puts you in that mindset to like make these choices. Yes, on an individual scale, if like each person decided that it's more convenient to dump their trash in the ocean, that definitely does matter. It this is the thing that's like causing these big issues. It will affect change on an individual scale, per se, right? No, or if individuals decide to stop dumping things in the ocean altogether as a collective, yes, there'd be less trash in the ocean, but there's gigantic companies who choose to dump whatever waste that they have into the ocean, like just on a company level. I think individuals it do matter. It's just that I think a lot of the agency when it comes to these things are taken away from individuals.
Yeah, so look, and I'm gonna go to Ajax and Jay, but I think these things do matter. It does matter that when you toss these things into the ocean, because it will do damage. Ajax has done a very good job of illustrating that for us, right? It actually does matter. I think all individual actions, these things do matter, but like if we get so caught up in the scale of it, right, and no one does anything because it's too big, well then it just makes sense that if it's just for convenience, if that's the only thing we have to worry about, then you'll end up taking actions, right, that you might otherwise find unjustifiable in another context. So if you think it's unjustifiable to be throwing trash in the ocean, then maybe if you have the option, again, the option there is important, then you should maybe make other choices as well. Let's go to Ajax and then Jay.
Yeah, so like when I was talking about the turtles earlier, like I encourage anyone, if anyone goes to Florida, like Key West specifically, go to the Turtle Museum. You can see all those turtles that are stuck there. They have over 50 that are permanent residents that can't leave. Those are all individual actions. There's no corporation that's plotting, there's no cabal of corporations, trying to keep the turtles down, break their shells. Those are all individual people that cause those turtles to be there. And like, if we're talking about no morals aside on whether like someone can afford it or be inconvenienced enough, depending on like their socioeconomic state, individual actions will always matter. You can just look at corporations that people are funding out in Southeast Asia that are polluting into the waterways, and then very, very poor people that survive off the fish from these waterways get poisoned, they develop diseases, they even sometimes die. This is a big problem in Southeast Asia and areas like Indonesia, etc. All those corporations are causing that. You're essentially funding them. So of course the individual action should matter. The question should never be, do they matter? It's to what level do you care, or what level should you be inconvenienced off these actions?
And finally, Jay.
Oh, that's such a good question, Ajax. I want to think on that one. I agree with you and what Chris was saying. Individual actions do matter. And I don't know. We keep using the example of like a poor person, but if this was like Bezos, dumping his trash dumping his mattress in the ocean, we would all be up in arms about how fucked up that is. Like it doesn't matter. And I think to what Jess was it sounded what you were trying to say was that like money doesn't matter, but time is a factor in how people spend their time, is a factor in how they consume and dispose of goods. And that is something that's socioeconomically unique, I think. But if you're rich or poor, you shouldn't be fucking throwing shit in the ocean.
All right. I think we covered it then. And as always, I was right. It just took you a while to realize it. It just took. I had to beat it into you, right?
Yeah, to strip away the morality and the practicality. And you say that this is a hypothetical meant to demonstrate something in the real world, but like if it doesn't map up to the real world,
no, it does map to the real world. Like it's obviously, it absolutely does. Like
it doesn't
the whole
because
point,
human beings don't exist in a vacuum.
I didn't say that they did, but like the object of the subject of convenience kept coming up. So we're testing convenience, right?
Factors, and that we all agree that subjectively we would subjectively decide, oh, this type of convenience is okay for this person but not for this other person, and literally we all pretty much agreed, got to the same point.
You didn't agree. You didn't agree. People kept saying different things. No, you didn't agree, right? You could say that you agreed. You really didn't agree.
People consider convenient is at an individual level. Like, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but you effectively had made that claim that basically what a person decides as convenient is on an individual scale. Did you not?
Sorry, Ron. Could you say it again? I apologize.
Is convenience determined on an individual scale?
Is convenience determined on an individual scale? Yes. I mean, I guess.
Convenience of what?
Okay, then.
Convenience of what? But I don't.
Well, say if I'm dumping a mattress, right? Well, depending on how far I am, I'm not dumping that mattress. I'm taking it to the next place with me.
You're dumping the mattress. Okay, mattresses are heavy. Okay, I've moved many times. Mattresses are heavy. You're dumping the fucking mattress in front of your house. Okay, it's not going that far. Let's be honest.
I'm not dumping. Like, I don't. If my mattress is still good enough, I'm taking it with me, right? I can't.
Or that.
The inconvenience is buying another mattress, right? For me, right? Or
okay.